Hi, everybody. Big news. Joe Biden has officially dropped out of the 2024 presidential race. No joke. This is 100% real. 100% real. You're first. No, you're not. Sorry. I thought this just happened within the past 15 minutes. I just saw it. That's worth talking about right now because, it's pretty big. Pretty big. Yes, Jasper the Cat says, "Oh, I'm going to come." Yes, yes. Drew, I'm saying no way. Yes, way. And the first place to start, Joe Biden's Twitter. We'll start there. This is the official account for Joe Biden. All right. Now, we're going to get to this. Now, we're going to skip, we're going to open this up and actually look at the actual letter. All right. So, this is what he's saying. Well, we'll get to what's going on here. Yes, but it's Jover, folks. It's Jover. All right. So, here we go. We'll zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see more. He's saying, "My fellow Americans, over the past 3 years," notice he did this as a letter and not a stream, or he didn't go on and do this. I mean, this is massive, guys. This is massive here. Unhung Hero for $2 says, "Oh, I'm going to come." No matter who fills in, loses. Yes, that's why I think they're going to let Kamala run and be a lightning rod. So, today, America has the strongest economy in the world. I mean, it might be the strongest, but that doesn't mean it's not on shaky ground and riddled with inflation. You know, being the fastest gazelle means you're still a gazelle. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation and lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, expanding affordable health care for a record number of Americans. We provided critically needed care to a million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, which didn't do anything, and we appointed the first black woman to the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay. And passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. Also, real quick, chat. Sorry about this morning on locals. I was eepy. I was in dreamland, so we didn't watch the race. America's never been better positioned than lead than we are today. I'm not so sure about that, Joe. The Houthis still control the Red Sea. I know none of this could be done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic, the worst crisis since the Great Depression. We protected and preserved our democracy. Well, you just said you're running. You just quit, and you're quitting against the guy who's going to kill democracy, I thought, Joe. And we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. Have we really? And he's saying, "It's been the greatest honor of my life as president. And while it's been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and solely focus on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." Fucking Copenhagen, chat. Copenhagen. Oh my God. Yes. And the sham lie. Hold on, chat, real quick. I gotta grab my phone. Actually, fuck it. We'll leave it alone for right now. The remainder of my term. It's only 6 months, man. So I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all who've worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. I'm passing the torch to her. I believe today what I always have, that there's nothing America can't do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States of America. No, man. So there we go, chat. There we go. That's it. That's it, chat. Start the bus. Joe turned around. He goes, "Yo, do the thing." I am surprised he did this. I am surprised he did this. I didn't think Biden was going to give up. I didn't think he was going to secede power that way. This is absolutely mind-blowing that he did it. I cannot believe it. I can't. It's truly, truly, truly interesting to me. Just, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I didn't think this was going to happen. Toilet Texter says, "What is the source?" I mean, pretty accurate source, Joe Biden. Literally, like Joe fucking Biden. Like, it's about as good a source as it gets, guys. This is absolute chaos. What are they gonna do? I don't know what they're gonna do here. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen now. Who takes over? Is it gonna be Kamala? I don't know if it can be. I don't know who else you're gonna put in there because I don't think that person thinks they're gonna win. And that creates a lot of problems. Who do you put in at this point? I think you have to use her. You know, anybody else taking over is going to be really hurting. But yes, Joe Biden is out, chat. Very, very interesting. You know, as that Chinese proverb says, it's a curse to say may you live in interesting times. Like, no, I want to be in interesting times. I don't want it to be fucking boring. I wanted this to be good. Get good, son. Get good. I mean, personally, that's just how I look at it. Like, this is, why wouldn't you want this? Why wouldn't you want this? So, yeah, this is, I guess I just want to say it. Suck it dry, Joe. Suck it dry. There's the thing. Well, there you go, Joe. Good job. Good job, Joe. Oh, it's I can't believe it's happening. I didn't think this was going to happen. Corn Pop 2024, yes. Yes, and Kamala could suck it for you, yes. She can. You know there's 100% relative chance that the Trump shooter said that in Destiny's chat. What? Suck it dry? Or do you say, "Dear Destiny, I like eating cum like you do"? Yeah, suffer. This is an embarrassment. I'm not going to lie, guys. This is an embarrassment as a nation that it took this for him to drop out. I mean, really, it's funny. Everybody's like, "Well, I can't believe this is happening." People warned you in 2020 this guy was slipping gears. So it's, yeah, the letter's crazy. I can't get over it. He just endorsed Kamala on Twitter. All right, well, let's see. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, my fellow Democrats, I've decided not to accept the nomination and focus all my energies. My very first decision as a party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala as my vice president. It's the best decision I made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee for our party this year. It's time to come together. Let's do this. Oh, yeah. We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. I do like this. Hot Harris on deck. Yes, this is yeah, here's the point. Kamala's fucking polling. Kamala's fucking garbage, guys. Like, this is gonna be fine. This is gonna be fine. Like, this is like the best thing that could happen. Kamala fucking Harris. Kamala fucking Harris, chat. Oh, well, there we go. There we go. If he does not endorse her, she gets no money. That's correct. That's correct. Yes, and he left after COVID, so those shots are worthless. That is kind of funny when you think about it. So, anything goes says woohoo. Drew M says, who are they going to throw into the Trump train? Kamala's going to try to stop it. Professor Chaos says he has to have a deal that he and his family are pardoned for any and all federal crimes on his way out the door. You know, I don't get this. He can pardon himself, guys. We talked about this. The president can pardon himself. There's nothing that says he can't. And at the very least, Joe Biden can pardon his brothers, his son, and Jill, and everyone else, which I'm betting he's going to do. So, but yes, thank you for being here, Professor Chaos. Where's General Disarray? The amateur iconoclast saying, accordingly, yes, as Lyndon Johnson said, accordingly, I shall not seek and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president. Not even close to being eloquent, and Johnson was a fucking scumbag, too. So, yeah, yep, there were better ways to say it. Vinny the D, thank you for being here, Vinny, says, I guess progress is having your political opponent schwacked, imprisoned, or unpersoned. Yep, that is the real. Welcome to the new norm. Copeside Phil says, I love this timeline. This is insane. I know. And it all started with Harambe, chat. All the way, you could just trace that divergence in the timeline to Harambe. And then he goes, you know, you go back to like Time Cops, like, I can't stop it now. It's too late. Professor Cass, thank you for introducing that to us. I appreciate that. Kamala Clinton, mark my words. God, no, there's no way they're going to do that. There's no way. It's going to be Kamala Whitmer. Calling it now. Whitmer or Harris Whitmer. Harris Whitmer. There's no way Hillary's coming back. It's going to be Gretchen Whitmer. Calling it right now. Gretchen Whitmer. Copeside Phil says this is the plan from the very beginning. I don't disagree with them this is their long play, but this is a shitty long play. But that makes sense because Joe Biden and them are idiots. Ag Biochemist says Trump in a 50-state landslide. Okay, no, but he's gonna fucking run the table. Project Calm. Seriously, I'm not gonna lie. I think this is like the coolest, like the name. It's like you'd expect as part of like part of the plot to a video game. Project Calm. Women will crawl over broken glass to vote for a sick man if told to. But will they bother to get out of their chairs to support another woman? I know. The cattiness of women may be very beneficial to us. So, has anyone checked on Harry Sisson? No, I don't know. Slade, it's good to see you, man. It's been a little while. It says, how do we get past the fact they will now put someone who the people didn't vote for in for election? Dems donors and the political elite have officially undermined the democracy. Well, I mean, think about it this way. Let's pretend Joe Biden died. you're still in that situation of, well, I didn't vote for this guy. I'm like, he's dead. The guy you voted for changed his mind and is like, I poop my pants. I want to go home. Well, he's going home. You can't. It's not like you could sit there and go like, no, you're gonna run, Joe. Like, no, you can't do that. So he quit. He's out. A new person. After CNN turned on him in the debate, I knew it was inevitable. Yeah. Well, that's because you can't hide it anymore. You could play it off as like, oh, this is a 2-second soundbite. When you have an hour of him acting like, pudding brain, you can't play that off anymore. And Harry Stevens says Kamala sucked Willie Brown's dick for nothing. Well, I don't know. She's running for president, so she's going to be the first black woman running for president. And she'll be the first black woman running for president on a primary ticket to lose. So just wait for her to like cackle and hackle against Trump. Oh my God. She's now going to have to do a debate. And T-Money is going to be there. And then I'm sure he's going to be like, Kamala, who kept all those black men in prison? Who kept all those black men in prison as firefighters because California needed them, Kamala? Who did that, Kamala? Who did that? Oh my God, it's going to be epic, chat. Oh, that still gives me my theory that Trump is not out of the woods as far as assassination attempts. I presume there will probably be more in the future. Maybe more more impressive in the kinetic realm. Destiny's probably melting down. Oh my God, I'm sure he's. Oh no. Bredicus7 says, I choose you, Shani Chu. Thank you. Where's Harry Sisson right now? I don't know. Let's see. All those guys, all those paid shills. Harry Sisson, Brooklyn Dad, Joe the Ho from New Jersey. I do think this is funny. Here. Joe Biden will go down in history as an American hero. I guess if your heroes put black men in prison, yes. A selfish politician who put the country before himself every single time. I mean, Joe Biden's fetish of putting black men in prison was certainly never obstructed by his own personal goals. We, the American people, owe him our gratitude and appreciation. Suffer. I do like this here. That decision just elected Trump. Chat, we're gonna be out of the ukulele land soon. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Did Joe really drop out? 100% he dropped out, guys. 100% he dropped out. He quit. I mean, we'll go back to the thing. We'll go back to the thing. This is Joe Biden's Twitter. This is Joe Biden's Twitter. I've decided not to accept the nomination. He's out, chat. He quit. He quit. He quit. I mean, if you want to double check, we'll come down here to this letter. This is the letter we just looked at, and this is him saying, I'm out. It's Dunsky. He is Dunsky. Bitcoin is crashing? Really? Oh, no. Oh, no, chat. Hold on. Bitcoin's at $66,000. Yeah, it's hanging in there. Oh, it took a hit like... what time? Oh, yeah. Wait, it did take a hit. Oh, my God. It lost like $2,000 in value. Or $1,500 in value. Oof. It's coming back, though. It's coming back. Blame Joe's kind of a wife. I think this is Joe and Jill, honestly. Remember, people are reluctant to give up power. But that's something that happens all the time. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She refused to quit. And then what happened? She died in the middle of Trump's term. Oh. Wait till the DNC find out they could just elect someone to run for president. Like our votes ever counted. Well, to be fair, these national conventions are not open like true. They're private organizations electing people, so they could do whatever rules they want. When you think about it, he had to. The money wouldn't have transferred. Do you think laws would stop these people? They would make the money move one way or another. Don't you worry about that. Yes, the cackling intensifies. EDW Raptor saying Kamala Clinton. I don't think so. I just don't think so. GB says Joe never wrote that letter. It doesn't have the presidential seal. No, he can. He can. I think it's weird they don't have any of that on there, though. Yes, Clydecoin is rallying, though, chat. Yes. Bitcoin tanked. Clydecoin's always strong. The DNC changed the nomination rules in 72, and they've regretted it ever since. Pretty much. Yes. Chocolate chip ice cream prices falling rapidly. Joe never wrote that letter. I think ultimately, yes, I agree. He didn't write that. Someone wrote that for him. He's like, and he signed it. Katie says, I got the hemp treats for my dogs during Prime Day. Yeah, those are good. They're good. They're good. The bricks just adopted Clout Coin. Clyde Cash 2024. No, we're not. We are not paper currency. We're digital. We're full digital. Clyde Coin chat is only digital. No fiat currency here. Is Joe where they dropped out? I don't know. Maybe some days not. What's going to happen at the DNC with the super delegates? That is actually going to be a very, very interesting question. We don't know. And if you guys aren't aware, there are the way the DNC is run with super delegates. You have all the people who run, and then they have super delegates. And these people make up 15% of all the DNCs, like 15 or 20% of their delegates. And they, it's gonna be weird. There's gonna be a lot of horse. That's the thing. They've got about a month. It starts what day is the DNC? DNC 2024. It's in Chicago, which God, that's apropos. It's like we're revisiting 68 all of a sudden, and this is a month for it to just spill out of control. They have August 19th. August 19th. They have 1 month. There's going to be a lot of horse trading. There's going to be a lot of rulemaking, and just wait for the left-wing lunatics to come out of the woodwork. Chicago's going to be hopping this summer, chat. Yes, and these super delegates can always overrule the primary results. Yep, they can vote however they want. So, if Biden suspended his campaign, he can hang on to any war chest. Oh, he can, and I'm sure a lot of money is going to get siphoned off. Remember, there's hundreds of millions of dollars there. Stuff's going to disappear. We need to account. We got to pay bills. Sweet Tooth says, what do you think world leaders are saying? It depends which world leader. If you're Vladimir Zelensky, you're like, oh no, I'm not getting any more cocaine. Oh no. If you're all over Europe, you're like, oh no, we're going to have to spend money on our own defense. If you're the Iranians, you're like, oh shit, the crazy guy's back. If you're the Chinese, oh shit, the crazy guy's back. So, has Trump made a statement? I don't know yet. Let me see. Yes. And this is the funny thing, guys. 538 has done You guys want to know how bad things are going to be for Kamala? Kamala's got a 38% approval rating. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is it going to be an open convention? No. They're going to this will be orchestrated and set up. I mean, if this was the Republicans, same way. The power brokers and the people everything will be set in stone before the convention starts. To think they won't have a plan set or they haven't been working on it, that's why it's drug on. They've been preparing and planning and setting things up. It's all going to be prepared. It's all going to be scripted. Watch tomorrow. They'll say it was a hoax and misinformation. If that's the case, then there was a coup in the Biden White House. If that were to happen that way, Runt, that would actually be the scary thing. If tomorrow they say, no, none of this was true, that means a coup occurred. And it almost took. So that's actually, if you think that happens, that's scarier to me than anything else. That they just went through all of this and now that really would scare me. And I don't know if you guys understand how scary that is. I don't know if you guys understand how scary that is. Let me see here. Oh, here, Jack. Telling me to update my password. So, I'm trying to get my email upload. Okay, let me see here. My order is ready for pickup. Okay, cool. I'll have to get that in a minute. Good job, Menards. Menards got an order done in like 10 minutes. I can go pick up. Is it going to be RFK? No. He is too much of a... I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. These Ricada rubles are worthless. I can only get crack crumbs now. I can't get boulders as big as my shoulders, chat. Yes. Who's replacing Biden? Trump? Well, Trump's going to win, yeah. Clyde/Sean for 2024. That'd be great. Greg says Michelle's hometown, it's fate. It's too late. The Obamas poisoned their well. I don't think people realize, like, Obama's not as popular as he once was. The shine has come off them. We're finna get a replay of 68. Oh, yes, we are. It's going to be bussin'. There, it's going to be bussin'. Harris Ricada 2024. Oh, my God. Yes. Hold on. JD Vance put a statement out. What happened here? Okay, hold on. What did JD Vance say right now? Let's see here, chat. I'm trying to... Let's see. Yeah, he didn't say anything in response yet. Let's see. Real Donald Trump. Let's see what he says. See if he mentioned anything. Well, looks like nothing yet. Looks like nothing yet. Was kind of hoping he'd say something. Yeah, nothing new. Nothing new. Oh, well. They froze his donations months ago. Q says, you fell asleep to the sweet sound of me last night. Zelensky sounds like Ricada. Or Ricada sounds like Zelensky. I'm not sure. Daniel C says, listen to my favorite fat lawyer. Yeah. I'm getting things, trying to catch up here. We'll get to this. The Dems are imploding like it's 1860. Ooh, I get that reference. Walter Malone for $2 says Kamala Harris, Montel Williams for 2024. I don't think Montel Williams would have been like he's sane, so I don't know why he would do this. Project Column says, strange enough, it's a random name to avoid any connection back to me. Nicholas Kreuzer says, better than an hour of biting, giving brain. And then Shredder S07 says, Kamala team has already been testing possible running mates. Current PA Gov is, Josh Shapiro is his likeliest pick. Also, be on the lookout for Greasy Newsom to make an appearance. Well, don't forget, Whitmer's pretty greasy, too. That woman's got a forehead that could shine. And I said, as a fat guy, she's an oily woman. And he's an oily man. The sky's a neighborhood for £2 sterling. The king sterling. It says Clyde for president. That wouldn't be too bad of an idea. Anyways, hold on. Clyde. Come here, buddy. The public wants you. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. Come here. Come on. Hey. What? Clyde. Hey. Oi. Come here. He just walked all the way in here to within 3 feet of me and then just turned around and walked back out. Now he's staring at me. Come here, Butta. Come here, Clyde. Come here, Clyde. Laney, come here. Clyde. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You just woke up. You just woke up, buddy. I know. It's tough. It's tough being a dog. You got to see your adoring public. But you know what? That's interesting, Shredder. I wasn't thinking about Shapiro. I could see that. I definitely could see that. I could see that. And he's there. The governor of PA is a scumbag. Although maybe that's good in a way. It kind of opens up PA for a governor's race. A lot of that's good. A lot of that'll be good. EDW Raptor says Harris Ocasio-Cortez. She turns 35 in October, so theoretically she could be the running mate. Yeah. I don't know. She got them perky titties, them perky socialist titties. Kamala may not like that. Do you want down, bud? All right. He wants back down. He wants to go see 2.0. Alex B says Mike Obama and Harris 2024. Nat Close says, I saw a video yesterday where Biden thought some other blonde-haired lady was his life and had to be corralled the other way. Yes. Yes. Holy cow. We need to hold on. This was very creepy. And you could tell what happened. You can 100% tell what happened here. Yeah, here we go. This was really bad. This was really bad when this happened. So here you go. Yeah, here we go. Here we go, chat. I'm going to turn this down here because you don't need all the music. So he's talking to a lady in blue with white or blonde hair. Here you go. Look at the nod on her face. Look at her face where she's like, oh my God, I know something's up here. And as soon as she's gone, she's gone. That was a real thing, chat. That was a real thing that happened this week. That 100% happened. That's not a joke. That's not CGI. That's nothing. EDW Raptor says they better put protection on RFK. This is going to be 68 all over again. Yeah. Yeah. Don't let him near. Well, did Sirhan get out of prison? Yeah, Sirhan out of prison. Here, let's see. Oh no, he got denied parole. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Thank God Sirhan's in prison. Sarah's worldwide fan says the borders are will be debating Donald Trump on immigration. Yes. Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Mr. Squiggle says we need to be carefully taking this as a win. We need to make sure we show up to vote. They're banking on us not showing up because of the decision. I don't disagree with that, but I think people are motivated to vote right now. This is the same energy as Dianne Feinstein finding out she wasn't seeking re-election. Who said I wasn't running? Your official press release, ma'am. Yes, that's very true. Bushmaster 937 gifted out 10 memberships. Thank you. Thanks for the support and the generosity. Lyman 60 says, will he resign to have the first BIPOC woman president? I think he's going to face that immediately. If you can't run, how can you govern? I think very quickly he's going to run into that issue. I think he staved off one problem for right now, but very quickly he's going to go into the next problem. And Anonymous says, it's Big Mike's turn. Well, maybe. 38% for Kamala sounds high. I can understand that. So, yeah. Hold on one second. Yes. No. Did Trump put something out? Okay. Oh, he put a statement out on True Social. I was hoping it would just show up on Twitter because I don't have Truth. Because I was like, I don't really want to get more crap. Speaker Johnson just called. Not muted. Oh, I know we're not muted. Speaker Johnson just called for him to resign right now. He should. That's the thing. If you can't run an election, if you can't run for office, how can you maintain the office? I mean, yes, it's a lot of hours on the road to run for office, but you've got to be able to get woken up at 2 a.m. and go, oh my God, there's a missile attack, Mr. President. What are you going to do? And they'll go, no, if you can't do this, he's got to go. He's got to go. I sounded like I got caught smoking. Let's see here. Okay. He couldn't maintain the office since 2016. Oh, I agree. And it's funny watching people saying, well, we didn't know. It's like bullshit. You knew. You've known since 2020 he can't do this. You 100% know that he couldn't have done this back then. But let's see. Let's see here. All right. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Let me grab this and we'll go and see what Trump is saying. Is he going to be nice about it? Maybe. We'll see. Oh, hold on. All this is going on and I left my phone sitting somewhere. So, good job, Sean. Brilliant work. Guys, thank you all for being here right now. This is hilarious. And oh my God, like Vosh is sitting in some like little fucking hovel shack. Who else is talking about this right now? Anybody? Oh, D-Day's on. Oh, and somebody pooped. Oh, 2.0's here. My dad had dementia. My opinion, Biden has 2 years to 1 year left. Yeah. This has likely been building, planned, or anticipated. Oh yeah, he didn't just quit on his own. But since the debate, the wheels have been turning. The wheels have been turning. So this was brewing. And I think COVID is a convenient excuse. Okay. All right. Let's get on Truth and see what we can find. True Social. Okay, sign in. Real quick. So I'm not gonna lie, guys. I never did truths because I'm like anything that gets big will get blasted on Twitter. So it's like one less thing I needed to worry about. Just lazy. Oh, here we go. All right. Oh my god, this is fucking epic. This is fucking epic, chat. Oh. Oh. We're gonna share this here. Here we go. Joe President, the 47th president of the United States, Donald John Trump. It's already there. It's already on Twitter. Well, too bad we're here. Crooked Joe was not fit to run for president, and is certainly not fit to serve, and never was. He attained the position of president by lies, fake news, and not leaving his basement. True. All those around him, including his doctor and the media, knew he wasn't capable of being president, and he wasn't. And now look what he's done to our country, with millions coming across our border totally unchecked and unvetted, many from prisons, mental institutions, record numbers of terrorists. We will suffer greatly because of his presidency, but we will remedy the damage he has done very quickly. Make America great again. Holy shit. That is fucking fiery. That is fiery. Aaron says, they had Jill give him the talk. No. I think people in the Democratic Party gave Joe and Jill the talk. That I think they basically said it's either this or we 25th Amendment you. I think he was threatened with a coup. And obviously the 25th Amendment is basically a coup. I think he was threatened with that, and on the entire cabinet they had the votes. I guarantee you they all met on a video like, I'd vote against you right now, so either you can resign or be fired. Was probably what happened. I don't think Jill came to Joe. I think they came to them, because I see Jill very much as this is very much the Woodrow Wilson presidency. Because if you guys don't understand, Woodrow Wilson, for the last part of his second term, was had a stroke and was basically incapacitated. So there was a lot of issues there. And Edith Wilson ended up basically running things, and she was a de facto president for the second half of his second term, up until he left in 1921. So I think this was very, very much they were forced. So the statement is on X. Well, we got it now. So not leaving his basement. It's true. He didn't leave his basement. That was very fiery, though. Not even, oh, I wish you the best of luck, Joe. It's like, no, you son of a bitch. You ruined everything. Joe responded with a heart emoji. Oh. But Joe got 81 million votes. Yeah, not anymore. Trump wrote that too. Oh, yes, he did, or that was taken dictated verbatim. In Hunter prison. No. Hunter should still be pardoned, guys. Hunter Biden should still be pardoned. His conviction is bullshit. It's in violation of the principles of the Second Amendment. No, Hunter should not be in prison. If I was Trump, I would pardon Hunter. I would say it right now. I'll pardon Hunter. What happened to him isn't fair. Joe has just announced he's going to a farm where he'll be happy to play with other old people. Oh, he's going to farm with Chloe, the dog. Yes, get your pardons in a row real quick. Yep. And Jill's the one who wants the power. Certainly. Jacka says, you mean Roosevelt? No. FDR wasn't stroked out at the end of his, because remember, he was by 1944 and 45. He was still with it. Woodrow Wilson had a stroke, and his wife became like a caretaker president. So Wilson was an eggplant. Yep. Mm-hmm. Max says, I think there'll be a book's worth of pardons coming from Biden. Oh, I think so too. I think so too. Copeside Phil says, if it's Hillary, Alex Jones is right once again. I don't think it's gonna be Hillary. I don't. Joe said in an interview years ago he'd make up an illness, and with Obama's approval, he'd drop out. Interesting. I don't think I remember that one. I don't think I remember that, but that's great. Good for Joe. Homier 23 is saying, "Look at the rabbit." Yes, look at the flowers, Joey. Look at the flowers. Look at the flowers, Joe. Look at the flowers. You can hear Trump's voice in your head when you read his work. Very true. Very, very true. This gets people to stop talking about the assassination temporarily. That's not going away. That's not going away. Lithium Mike says, well, I do agree. FM, we wouldn't be pardoned. I understand, but if Trump pardons Hunter, then he can basically take care of himself and nobody will have a problem. Joe's being rehomed. Guys, be nice to Joe. He's being put out to pasture, not rehomed. All right, here. We're going to catch up. We got some super chats here. Lineman says, will he resign to have the first BIPOC woman president? Oh, no, we already covered that. But yeah, I don't think so. Ag Biochemist saying, did anyone say weekend at Bernie's? And says the Secret Service was originally researching how to protect Trump in a prison. Now they'll need to research how to protect Trump or Biden in a nursing home. Yes. That should be easier, though. I mean, having somebody sit there with them, though. Although it's going to be rough because you'll just Secret Service agents just sitting there. You know, he's got his phone out. He's playing fucking Candy Crush. It just boop, boop. And Biden goes, I pooped him. I pooped my pants. And he's like, what? Oh, and he's going to have to like ring up the nurse and have him come change him. Oh. Johan Naxos is saying, Biden's going to be so mad when he wakes up from his nap and sees what he did. And Katie is right. Because it's Joe Biden, why not have it on National Ice Cream Day? Gotta remember every time during his campaign, look, he's eating ice cream. Isn't that such a thing? Well, it's easy to eat ice cream when your brain's not working, I guess. Sarah's Worldwide Fan says Kamala will start attacking Trump on his age. And she's going to fail because she'll start getting attacked on her competency. So she's going to have a rough time. Carolina Frog saying the worst part of having Kamala in the Biden administration, her poopy pants never got the benefits that all Kamala's other bosses enjoyed. Yes, well, I don't think Joe wants her down there wearing out knee pads. So that's how Kamala got her start. It was giving blowies to Willie Brown. Trump could take the Reagan response about age. Yes, he can. The age question will not land far after last weekend. I know. He got shot and he jumped back up and started hanging and banging back. So, yeah, it's going to be really tough for her to do it. Craig says Joe Biden endorses Kamala Harris as the delegates are all Joe Biden's. Probably that will be who it is. I prefer them going a Joe Manchin or Gretchen Whitmer. I understand that, and I think that would be a far more logical conclusion. Well, Joe Manchin isn't going to win. The left of that party will not support Joe Manchin. Gretchen Whitmer would be like the Yas candidate, but I see Gretchen Whitmer going in 2028. This is going to be whoever runs right now is they're a suicide jockey. Whoever runs now is going to lose. So that's why they're going to let Kamala run. They'll let her run, they'll let her lose, and then they'll clear the field for 2028. It's probably the best thing they can do. Especially now, it's too late. It's too late. Grim says, imagine a timeline where Trump doesn't survive and Biden drops out. Who runs? If Trump had died, Biden's not dropping out because there's no point. Because if Trump had died, that comment I just made about whoever's running is basically running a caretaker campaign would be for Trump's side. So let's say they put in somebody running at the convention. His job is just to be there and lose while Biden wins. So that'll be the very interesting thing there. So we are see here. Where is see if I can find Speaker Johnson real quick. Where is I don't see anything. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is a long form tweet. So it's a wall of text. Here we go. Here we go, chat. So this is from Speaker Johnson. He says, at this unprecedented juncture in American history, we must be clear about what just happened. The Democratic Party forced the Democrat nominee off the ballot just over 100 days before the election. And that's the thing, guys. Remember, it's less than 3 months till November. You may not think about it that way, but remember, we're almost all the way done with July. You have August, September, October, and remember, it's the first Tuesday in November. So, yeah, a couple days here and there. It's very quick. It's going to be very quickly upon us. I mean, it's going to be, remember, guys, it's Halloween. It's Halloween before you know it. I mean, in a month from now, we're going to be getting ready for Labor Day. So, he points out that having invalidated the votes of more than 14 million Americans who selected him to be the nominee, the self-proclaimed party of democracy has proven the exact opposite. Well, if Joe quit, I mean, he's allowed to quit. The party's prospects are no better now with Vice President Harris, who co-owns the disastrous policy affairs of the Biden administration. As second in command and completely inept border czar, Harris has been a gleeful accomplice not only in destruction of American sovereignty, security, and prosperity, but also in the largest political cover-up in U.S. history. She is known as long as anyone of his incapacity to serve. And that's the thing. I think it's really going to hurt the Democrats going forward. We saw how many times this happened. How many times he's like, whoa, and he does like the wandering thing on stage. Or, he's got that look. Or he walks like a guy with dementia. And they just kept ignoring it. Yes, and regardless of the chaos in the current White House, our adversaries around the globe should be reminded that the U.S. Congress, the U.S. military, and the American people are fully prepared and committed to defend our interests at home and abroad. And that's an interesting statement saying, look, you may think Biden's not there, but the rest of us, we're ready to fight. If Joe Biden's not fit to run for president, he's not fit to serve. And that's my point. If he can't run, he can't govern. I mean, if you don't have the mental ability to run for office, I don't see how you have the mental ability to govern that office. He must resign effective immediately. November 5th cannot arrive soon enough. Yes, I agree. Yeah, he can't run, he can't serve, resign. Oh, jeez. They've already got the propaganda going, which one way or another, that is propaganda. Huh. Huh. Yeah, no, I totally agree, though. If you can't run, I don't see how you can govern. Trump doesn't have the physical ability to run. Touche. 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 Yes, he's just unsure in his feet. And Joe Biden, he has a stutter. The funny thing is, people claim he's got a stutter. He didn't have a stutter in the 90s. Fedorowski saying Kamala will probably make her own decision, make her own discussion platform to rival Trump and call it Cackle. That would be funny. That would be funny. What message must it send other heads of state? I don't know, but it's not confidence inspiring, especially for the next couple of months. Joe Biden has completely fucking lost it. Malcolm saying, so the 25th Amendment, him and we get some months of President Kamala. Yikes. That's not a fun thought. Yes, but at least with, I mean, here's the thing. You may not like Kamala Harris, but at least she's with it mentally. She may cackle and she may be an idiot, but at least she's with it. You could wake her up in the middle of the night and she could make a decision. Joe Biden, I'm not sure you could wake up in the middle of the night. I wonder what the rules are with that, especially if he's sleeping off all the drugs they gave him for like a debate. He should resign now and let her take the presidency. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of Hannah Montana. It's the best of both worlds for everybody. Kamala gets to become the first female president. I mean, Hillary would probably have her assassinated immediately, but yeah, I could see that. Max Mercer says, show Trump eating McDonald's. That would be funny. Just have him eating some KFC on his plane and be like, RFK's got a presser at 5 p.m. There will be some spice. That'll be interesting. I don't think we'll be on that long unless we keep going. I mean, there's 800 people here, though. Guys, thank you for being here. Before I get too far, if you guys are new, my name is Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. I am a defense attorney in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And yeah, this popped out. And I think, something we need to be talking about. This is huge. This is huge. Whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, this is massive. I mean, this is the interesting times. These are interesting times, and like I said when I first got on here, that the people that say it's a curse may live in interesting times. Why would you not want to live? Why would you want to live in some boring ass times? This is fun. There's uncertainty, sure, but say you were here, you remember when this happened. You talk to people who were around when Johnson gave it up. A lot of people remember what they were doing when Johnson quit. And his really came out of nowhere. William Smith says it's not just to November. This guy has to last until inauguration. Well, I think they can drag him across the finish line. He'll just basically be boarded up. And by the time we get to flu season, I'm sure they're going to say, well, COVID's spiking, so we're going to bunker down to be safe. He'll be doing it'll just be like he did with his virtual White House shit that he was doing for a while. We're going to see a lot of that. Can we review the 25th Amendment real quick together? Sure. You know what? That's actually not a bad idea. The 25th Amendment, the full text. And we are using the constitutioncenter.org because I don't know. It seems like that's a pretty unbiased source. Q says, I bet potentially criminal writes a mean motion to suppress. I write pretty good. I do pretty good in my legal writing. McLeod says there was no stuttering during the Clarence Thomas hearings. Yeah. Yep. Alpha Foxes, were there any recent executive orders? Not that I'm aware of. Although generally there are out there. Pepsi Man says Hannah Montana. Yeah, Hannah Montana. You get the best of both worlds. It's like it's the intro song to a show. You get the best of both worlds. Yeah, it's very important to have the best of both worlds. Why not say Barnes for the 25th? Yes. Go call Barnes. He'll lead the charge. I bet you're no Nick Ricada with your legal writings. I mean, it's hard to, I don't have a creative writing degree. I went to school for political science and history. All right, so let's see what happened. Let's see what happened here. Okay. So the 25th Amendment, if you guys are not aware, presidential disability and secession. So Section 1, in case of removal from office or the death or resignation, the vice president shall become president. That's pretty easy. I mean, I think we all knew that one. That one's pretty easy. That's a pretty easy one. What happens from there? Well, Section 2, whenever there is a vacancy in the office of vice president, the president shall nominate a vice president who shall take office immediately upon confirmation by a majority vote of both houses of Congress. Well, holy shit. Imagine trying to get majority votes in Congress right now. That's going to be tough. Section 3. I'm here. Whenever the president transmits to the president pro tempore of the Senate and the Speaker of the House his written declaration he is unable to discharge his powers and duties of office, and until he transmits them to a written declaration to the contrary, such powers and duties shall be discharged by the vice president as acting president. Okay. Now we get to how this actually works in the voting part here, okay? Section 4. Whenever the vice president and a majority of either the principal office of the executive departments the vice president and a majority of either the principal officers of the executive departments, meaning the cabinet, or of such other body as Congress may by law provide, transmit to the president pro tempore, the Senate, and the Speaker of the House their written declaration that the president is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, the vice president shall immediately assume the powers as acting president. So that's where it goes. And that's how it works. My phone buzzing. That's how that works. It's how that works. They're saying Sky is a neighborhood transmit. He means like transmit, like transmitting is like sending it to them. So like I could transmit documents to another party by like sending them to them. So there you go. That's what that means. So Content Lasagna is saying, so in Section 3, he can just tell them he's not good and Kamala has to do the president's job without becoming president. Well, he can tell them I can't do it, and until it's officially delivered in writing, Kamala's the acting president. Nick says, Nick Starro, if you guys, how you doing, man? Nick Starro Trial Watch saying, if Whitmer runs, I will revisit the Whitmer fake kidnapping trial. Yes. Mike says, it says his duty, so does that mean a woman can never be 25th? I could see Kamala trying to make that argument, and that would be a funny argument to make. Let's see here. Where are you guys looking? So it only takes a cabinet vote for the 25th. Yes, it only does. That's where it says a majority of either the principal officers of the executive departments. That means the cabinet. Or of such other body as Congress may by law provide. So for right now, all they have is a cabinet. But if they have a cabinet meeting, and I'm sure that there was a cabinet meeting where they all were on screen and said, "We will vote to have you removed if you don't quit now." And the problem is, once you start capitulating, I'm sure they're going to come back in a month and say, "Leave now, or we'll vote you out." And I know Biden will resign, so that way he's not the first president to ever be removed from office. Because Trump can, they could say Trump was impeached, but if Biden's removed, oh boy, that's rough. Are we looking at the 25th Amendment? Yes. Section 4. Haven King is saying, can the Dems put Kamala in presidency just for her to be the first black woman president for a couple of months? Yeah, they could. They could, 100%. Check out the video Trump just put out. All right, let me see here. There's a video already. What happened? Hopefully it's good. Okay, this is funny. This will be Trump coming out tonight. I mean, that's funny. That is somewhat humorous. That's somewhat humorous. It's cringe, but you know what? It's AI, so I'll give AI credit. That's actually not bad. He'll try to lame duck it until the election. Maybe. Iceman says Iowa still has a congressional vote for the 25th. Remember, that would be a massive separation of powers issue if they could remove him like that. So no, it's got to be the cabinet, and otherwise that violate, federalism and separation of powers. I would argue. Dolly says I posted it in chat. What did you post in chat? Oh, are you talking about Discord? Oh my gosh, this is so funny. This is actually hilarious here. Hassan Piker, the great Hassan, saying, I'm shooting a trailer today for a Twitch show, so I most likely won't be able to live buy it, and you better not drop out yet. Oh, suffer, Hassan. Am I old enough to run for president? Yeah. Yes, I'm 38. I can run for president now. William Smith says, you said the 25th need to be made public immediately. I don't know if that's... I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's at all... You would like to think so, but I don't think it's guaranteed that way. Because how would you do it otherwise? Something to think about, though. Something to think about. Bossman Jack for 2024. That'd be great. Did I go over the Brandon Herrera video about the attempted assassination? No, I can't, because it's on YouTube, so YouTube would kill us for that. Hillary just endorsed the witch? What? Hold on here. Hillary Clinton. She's hilarious. I don't see anything from her. Yeah, there's nothing on Twitter from her. Hillary endorses Kamala. Oh, okay, yeah, they did. Okay, I see now. Bill and Hillary did it. This is interesting. This is interesting. We'll share this. This is Bill and Hillary. Statement for President Clinton and Secretary Clinton. That has to chap Hillary's ass. So apparently, this is saying that he has capped his extraordinary career of service to the presidency that has lifted America out of an unprecedented pandemic, created millions of jobs, rebuilt a better economy. Blah 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 blah. So we join millions of Americans in thanking him, standing up for America time and time again, with his North Star always being what's best for the country. Citation needed. We are honored to join the vice president in endorsing Kamala Harris, and we'll do whatever we can to support her. Oh, I guess Hillary's not going to make a move at the convention. We've lived through many ups and downs. Oh, I'm sure you guys have, and a lot of murders. But nothing has made us more worried than a threat posed by the second Trump term, because he's Hitler! He has promised to be a dictator on day one of the recent ruling by a servile Supreme Court. Yes. Only embolden him further to shred the Constitution. Now is the time to support Kamala Harris and fight with everything we've got to elect her. America's future depends on it. That's funny. Imagine you think like the interdimensional triple Hitler, the worst man in the world, is about to become president. Think about that. The worst man in the world is becoming president. He's gonna, he's Hitler, and Kamala Harris is your champion. Holy Jesus Christ. That would be suicide inducing to me. Did Biden endorse anybody? Yes, he endorsed Kamala. I mean, is Kamala the guaranteed nominee or is it officially an open convention? I mean, technically, Biden could tell his delegates to vote for Kamala. He can endorse her and do all that. But I'm sure that there'll be ways if they wanted someone else, they'll make it someone else. Yes. So that is where.
Hey, Sean,
Yes.
you search Biden statement in Twitter, you get a whole bunch of them. Pelosi made one too.
Okay.
I posted the Pelosi one.
Oh, hold on. What did you say?
I posted the Pelosi one in chat.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see what else. What are people saying here? Oh, I'm not doing the one that Mr. Medicare put up, but that looks to be very funny. What did Nancy Pelosi say? Oh, hers is just after my son got hit with a hammer, or my husband. I do think this is actually a very good one. I agree. I full-heartedly agree. This will be the most popular act of Biden's presidency. Very true, very true, very true. The best. Sean and Mr. Medicare for 2024. That'd be a fun ticket. Jim and I would be great. Jim and I would be great. Richard Baron Richard Harkonnen says, Sean, the tendies are ready. The tendies must flow. Oh God. Oh God. Ricada says he'll try to find locals time to talk about this today. I mean, got a busy schedule, chat. Getting tattoos and, taking drug tests and not releasing the results. It's a busy day. Busy time, chat. Busy time. Scylla is saying, going back a couple of weeks when they made that deal that Assange, it could have been Hillary during the convention, possible coup at the convention between the Obama and Clinton camps. Maybe, but that would be I'd say let them fight. Let Team Obama and Team Clinton just let them see what happens. See who's got the horsepower to win there. What does our overlord Destiny think of this? I don't know, because Destiny's a girl's name.
He said that's how you take a real bullet.
Oh wow! Apparently, Destiny did say some cringe shit here. Let's go back and let's see. What did he say? Oh my god, this is some real fucking cope. This is some Copenhagen chat. This is what taking a real bullet looks like, and he reposted it. Oh my, that is so taking a real bullet. He refused to take this bullet for months and months and months and months. So no, it's not a real bullet. Kyle says, why did this time Biden didn't drop it for the debates? Biden didn't drop it for anything he did. He dropped after Trump survived the attempt. Does this say anything? I mean, you can make the argument that, if you think Biden did have anything in plotting for him, yes, it's time to quit now. But also remember, this is just Biden is a bitter old man who won't give up. Jill's a bitter old woman who won't give up. They've clung to power for nearly 60 years. Why would you give it up? So that's I would say that's the most likely way. But I think in reality, that's a very good point that maybe Trump and Biden spoke and he's like, quit now and I won't fucking ruin you. And very likely Biden took it and ran. Biden needs some trolls. He needs trolled hard. So, all right here. The Iceman says, I'm in California. I 100% think it's going to be Newsom. Well, it could be. We'll find out. We will find out together. And Dolly, good to see you, Dolly, saying, I guess it just wasn't a stutter after all. Yes. And then Graham, it's good to see you, buddy. It's been a little while. Long time no see. Member for 23 months. A true OG is saying, does this mean Trump wins Minnesota? That would be hilarious if he won Minnesota. Oh, for the first time since Richard Nixon, we need that. And that would be great. Richard Gruber. And like I said, I always appreciate the aesthetic of your AK Drum magazine, good sir. Does this mean Gamer Subs is going to go put Biden back on the lean flavor? Yes, that's what they're going to do. They're going to start giving him IVs of it. Yeah. The White House is no longer a G Fuel house. Mr. Squiggle says, is it possible she'll pick Joe as her VP to keep the same team in the White House? No. I mean, remember, he's also got issues. He's, I mean, I don't see how that works. Jeremiah is saying, so what is the proper chain of events for the 25th? Does it start in the House or the Senate? I think we covered it since you actually asked this. It starts in the cabinet. The cabinet and the vice president come together and say, Joe, go home. Yes, Ed Kalankas is right. Y'all living, enjoying in the fourth turning. And Phil Swift, President-elect Phil Swift says, a buck-broken Democrat moment. Scattered and plattered, covered and smothered. Yep. And then Turnips gifted 10 memberships. Well, thank you. And that looks like a very sleepy kitty. Vodka Blood says, as long as Jim Satala no longer lives, I'll be happy. That's not very nice. Mike says the DNC is starting to fall in line behind Kamala. Yeah, it is. Especially if the Clintons are falling in line. That's a surprise. And then Dina says, appreciate your analysis from across the border in Jackson Center, Pennsylvania. Still not sure H won't make a fuss. I mean, they're saying they won't, but that doesn't mean anything because remember, you say something and then you decide, well, we listened to Kamala for a month and she's an idiot. That could work. This guy's a neighborhood for £2 sterling. The King sterling. Saying, how many times has the 25th Amendment been invoked before? Never. Never. This has led to issues, though. I mean, like, for example, when Ronald Reagan was shot, George Bush was assuming control, but Alexander Haig, Secretary of State, was running around saying, I'm in charge. I'm the president. It was a disaster. It was pandemonium. So, no, the 25th has never been invoked before. Steven says, wait. You're a Woodrow Wilson poli-sci major? I mean, I was a political science major, but, like, I know who Woodrow Wilson is. Michael H. is saying, do you know the background of the 25th Amendment? Well, I mean, we have had issues of different things there, and I think the ultimate issue, it does go back to multiple issues. It goes back to JFK's assassination, but also remember, JFK was a very sickly man. I don't know if it happened any during his presidency, but JFK was a Catholic, and the last rites are one of the Catholic sacraments you get as you're dying. He had the last rites administered to him multiple times in his life. I think like 3 or 4 times. Like he was been that sick and deathly. We were in the middle of the Cold War, and we're like, we need to have some better chain of command set up. What? Hold on one second. What's that? Garfield was in a coma in the 1800s. But yes, the 25th Amendment came about. Dwight Eisenhower had a crippling illness. It probably also helped. They looked back and they realized, well, we had the issues with Woodrow Wilson. They're like, well, let's say something happens again, like FDR style, where somebody starts getting progressively sick. It was ratified in 1967. So it was the height of the Cold War. What do we do with presidential succession? We just had an assassination with JFK. So that's ultimately why, because there was nothing set in stone. President-elect Phil Swift says, all this fuss, Kamala doesn't have to debate JD. Yes, but now instead of debating JD, now she has to go debate Big Boss. That doesn't help her. Now would be the perfect time to extend the olive branch, but she's getting thrown to the wolves, 100%. And James is saying, I agree with Wyeth's statement. They let Trump win and then crash the market. I don't know. Did Yellow Flash say that last night? I don't know if they can. I mean, the market is kind of asunder anyway, really. Nicholas Courageous says, honestly, we need to clear and rewrite / erase anything right after the 18th Amendment. I get what you're saying. EDW Raptor says JFK was on death's door until they snuck in some whores to the White House's secret tunnels. No, I'm serious, though. JFK was a very sickly man throughout his entire life. And then after World War II, when he got severely injured in the whole PT-109 saga, when the Japanese almost killed him, he was severely injured. He was really, really bad shape. Really, really bad shape. Trump will not ever be president again. It's just too dangerous. I don't think so. I don't think they can stop him. They can't stop him, chat. There's no brakes on this train. Hacho says there will be no debates. If they do that, she's fucked. Yeah. And Sky says that's a long time, not a long time ago for the 25th Amendment. Yeah, 1967. I mean, when you think about it, though, hold on here. Calculadoro. It's 57 years. That's actually think about it. That's a long time. People have lived and died in that meantime. So it's not like that new. Sassy Frass says, but isn't the DNC calling for open nominations? I'm sure they are, and I'm sure that's still going to be brought up. Michael H says, I knew he never had bad health. Interesting. Yet JFK was a very sickly man. And then when he was in World War II and he was captaining PT-109 at it's a plywood boat that's 80 feet long, and Japanese destroyer went like through it. He almost got paralyzed. Like he suffered massive back injuries, like debilitating injuries. So bad he left the Navy. And they were marooned and lost in the they had to survive on an island for a couple of days by themselves, avoiding the Japanese. And he was crippled really bad from that. It's like he had to be doped up quite a bit to walk around. JFK lost his boat to poor seamanship. I don't know about that. Although it's a little murky exactly what happened the night where he ran into the Japanese Navy. But I mean, at that point, though, I will say this much: like JFK and his guys, like were not afraid to go fight. Like they were doing it. Bitcoin has recovered. Okay, that's good. I figured it might. JFK had Addison's. Oh, okay. Well, he had a lot of things. Who is a prominent Southern Democrat? That will be her play. I don't know who would be a prominent Southern Democrat for her. I don't know. The issue is Kamala gets Joe's war chest. Yes, but even without it, I mean, there's ways they can get around those issues. Yes, the Imagiri Ramdom. Yes. It will be Josh Shapiro. That makes a lot of sense. And you guys have mentioned this before. I think that does make sense. It makes a lot of sense there. Harris won't resist being able to pick an older white man. Funny. And I will say, I'm surprised Biden did not do a video of this. Because really, like this is just people are right. This is basically Biden breaking up via text message. So he didn't even bother having a press conference. He's just like, hey, I'm out. Can't do this anymore. Don't worry about it. Love you. Bye. Click. And moved on. Yeah, he's asleep right now. He doesn't know. Harry Steven says, do we know if he's still alive? I'm sure he's alive right now. Nick Saban is a prominent Southern Democrat. He's not running. That's funny, though. Content Lasagna said, does Shapiro have to resign the Pennsylvania governorship to run? No. J.D. Vance doesn't have to quit being a senator to run. I mean, he could keep running in his office. I mean, we see that all the time. You can be the governor or the senator and still run, and then if you win, you resign, but you don't have to. Now, there might be some laws, like in a lot of states, there might be laws if you're running for state senator and you're running for governor or things like that, you may have to quit. There's no actual federal law. Eliza's saying, am I making too much if the letter was not written on White House stationery? I think you're making too much out of it. But remember, let's say that you guys are right, and they come out tomorrow and say, this is actually not true. We just watched a coup happen, and then it fails. That's literally what this would be. So Let's hope this is actually the legit thing. Like knock on wood. We don't want to find out that there's internecine strife in the Biden White House like that. Let's see. Michael H has my top 4 picks for VP were Alex Jones. Okay. Ben Shapiro, I don't know about him. Tucker Carlson, and Thomas Sowell. I think, well, Thomas Sowell is going to be a little tough. He's dead. I mean, that one's going to be tough because he's what year did he die? Thomas Sowell's still alive. I'm sorry. You're right. My bad. He's 94 though. I'm pretty sure he's going to die right now. And he was born in 1930. I mean, he's with it, but he's 94 years old, guys. Like, he ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it. Although it would be nice to have somebody who knew F.A. Hayek to be in the White House. That would be pretty cool. That would be fun. But I just don't know. Hold on real quick here. Nozaki is saying some states require you to step down. Some do. But for example, for in Ohio, JD Vance doesn't have to run. He can run and still keep his seat. They could also get Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky. Yeah, maybe. Sky's a neighborhood saying Vance does need to quit as Sean's going to the Ohio Senate. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. JD, clear out your office. I'm moving in. Oh, for the couple of years. Sassy Frass says, hold on, what's that? Is it worth watching? Okay. Okay. Sassy Frass is saying, how long was RGB gone while her staff remotely wrote her opinions? Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought that was happening, especially like she'd spend half of the oral arguments, a lot of cases going like this, just like sleeping. And there's in the Supreme Court, there's no pictures, but they do the courtroom sketches, and you could see all the other justices sitting up and looking along, and you'd see her just slumped over sleeping. I mean, that used to be like back in the day, like turn of the century, you'd have multiple justices sleeping. But they tried to get those people out after a while. When are they going to tell Joe? I don't know. It would be hilarious if Kamala typed that all out and nobody knew. That would be amazing. That would be hilarious. Yes, Sal's on YouTube. Yeah, Thomas Sowell's still on YouTube. And he would never accept the nomination. I don't think he would. You're right. I forgot that he's not dead. I thought he was dead for some reason. He's fine. He's 94. He's not fine. He's on death's door. Alex Jones for press secretary. Oh, that'd be great. I still think that'd be a fun one. Listen here, globalist. We're not going to take any globalist questions today, chat. Was that a sneeze? Yes, from 2.0. Immediate reaction from Ben Shapiro. Wow, this is interesting. Look at Ben Shapiro. Man, he quit doing the, painting his whole beard black like he was evil Ben Shapiro. Man, he's got gray hair. He's about my age. I think he's a year or two older than me. It's like, welcome to the adult club, Ben.
It was doubtful. I'll be honest with you, because he's a very, very stubborn man, and he does not like being pushed out. But with the new polls that have emerged over the weekend, showing him down 7 in Michigan, showing him down nationally, widely, probably going to lose the Electoral College by 100 votes, losing Virginia, losing maybe Minnesota, competitive in New Jersey. Apparently, he had no other choice. The donors came to him. The Obamas came to him. Everybody came to him, and he is out a little bit earlier today, just a few minutes ago. He released a statement via Twitter, which again demonstrates where things are at. You would figure that he would do a sort of farewell press conference. He's not retiring from the presidency itself. He is only saying that he is not going to run, which leaves open a massive question as to why exactly he is qualified to continue running the country.
It's the exact same thing we've already been talking about. How can you do one and not the other? Ben's gray. How old's potential? Yes, he's born 1984. Yeah, he's only a year older than me. Yes. Did you know Ben Shapiro's wife is a doctor, Sean? Yes, I know his wife's a doctor. That's okay. I'm a doctor too. So, what WWF star will be at the DNC now? The Undertaker. We're gonna bury Joe Biden. Why did we watch him? I thought he might say something interesting, but he didn't. So it didn't turn out worth watching. Did you know Ben Shapiro's sister has huge knockers? Yes. Yes, his wife is a doctor and his sister's a milk truck. Oh, they're gonna bring The Rock out. I can see that. That'll be cringe. Yeah, hold on one second. The Iron Shake. Okay, I'm pretty. Wait, he's. Why would you want the Iron Shake to come and introduce you? You don't. It doesn't matter. He's dead anyway. Like, you can't have the Iron Shake come in. And besides, by the end, he was a drunk, crazy guy. The Rock won't do politics. Yeah, it'll ruin his energy drink career. Rest in peace, Boogie. That would be funny if that happened. Oh wait, are we saying on here? Nope, there we go. Hold on here. Destiny for VP. Yes, that would be great. The Iron Shake was Canadian. I don't know if he was. Disbarred lawyers are doctors. Isn't the Undertaker a Republican? I'm pretty sure he is. I'm just saying that'd be funny. Booker T. Now we're obscurant. Okay, now we're going back in time with them. Yeah. Is this news real? 100% it's real. 100% it's real. Yes, yes. Acknowledge the chief of your tribe, Roman Reigns. Oh, the Iron Sheik is from Detroit. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. So where are we? see. Can Bernie Sanders come back? No, Bernie Sanders. They'll pay him off with another lake house or something. Booker T still doing commentary for WWE NXT. Really? That's awesome. Good for him. It's good for him. Who? Oh, RFK did? Oh, I'm sure he's going to be fucking angry. Let's see here. RFK released a statement. This should be good. All right. Oh, I have to share the screen. That's not helpful. Hold on 1 second. So here we go. Team Sneed's gonna have to use the cuckold simulator. Yes. Oh, I can't imagine what someone like Jimmy Dore is gonna say. That it's gonna be hilarious reaction. But RFK, declare your independence. Oh, he says, okay, let me see here. I commend Biden for stepping down. His infirmities were evident to any unbiased observer from the beginning. It was his progressive deterioration, his abandonment of Democratic Party principles that prompted me to enter the race and ensure American voters had a viable, rigorous alternative to Trump. Yet the response of the DNC was to try and hide President Biden's degeneration from the American public and disable democracy to ram him through the party's nomination. Many Americans feel the same DNC elites are about to rig the nominating process again to get a monumentally unpopular vice president to step into his shoes. Yes, that's 100% going to happen. 100% going to happen. I call on the Democratic Party to return to its traditional commitment to democracy. Okay, I'm sure that's going to happen. And exemplify it with an open process. Instead of anointing a handpicked candidate, the party should use neutral polling and identify the candidates who could best beat Trump. I'm not sure who that's going to be. The delegates then should select the nominee based on this information. If they had done this to begin with, I would not have had to leave the Democratic Party. Well, I'm not sure. Like, it's not going to be you. It's not going to be you, RFK. He's like, it could be me now. It could be me now. Oh, who said it? Yes, Sam Cope and Cedar. Yes, Sam Sneeder. It'll be great. It'll be great tonight. RFK is bringing the fire. RFK is bringing the fire for RFK. So I'd be very careful about what it is he says. I'd be very careful because he's in it for himself at the end of the day. President-elect Phil Swift says, shout out to Kamala polling at 3% in 2019. Yes, she's not doing good. Hasn't been doing good. Has never done good. Mr. Mojo Rising 241 says, we all thought he would win last time, and there was election interference. I will stand on that hill. I understand. EDW Raptor says Harris Carter, meaning Jimicata. The sky is a neighborhood for £2 sterling. The King Sterling says, "Oi, so what's in the program for America next weekend? I don't know what's going to happen on this episode of America. Probably something bad because it's only going to get worse." Squiscar says Shaggy 2 Dope and Violent J. Whoop whoop, family. And Corey Boatwright, Corey, it's good to see you. Thank you for the super chat. He's saying there's no way the original draft of the resignation letter wasn't shit. He missed. Dictated but not read aloud. Joseph Robinette Biden. Yes. I could easily see that being the issue there. I could easily see that be what's going on. Jimmy Carter's climbing Everest? No, really? I mean, he's definitely being carried right now, if that's the case. Like somebody taking his ashes or taking him up there. How can he get up there? I mean, he did it in the 80s, but he's not right now. I don't know what you guys are saying about now. Excuse me. Carter's in hospice. Yeah, well. Do we think Biden makes it to November, or they simply get him to use him as a pawn to get Kamala sympathy votes? You don't, guys, like I said, I think there's a problem now. I think we're going to see what happens at the convention, how bloody it gets, because I'm sure it's going to get very, very bloody. It's very bloody. If Carter's climbing Everest is in Roblox. Biden's on a ventilator. Oh, imagine that if Joe is like incapacitated and they just did all this. Although immediately, I can't imagine someone like Kamala could keep her mouth shut and just start taking over. And eventually, like if Kamala goes out, we'll immediately notice, like if she start walking around, she will be followed immediately by the guy with the nuclear football, and it'll be his versus hers. It'll be the presidential one versus the vice presidential one. Oh, there's not a lot to him ultimately. Pete Buttigieg, will it check off more than one box? No, he's not going to be picked. Mike says, what happens if they did this without the 25th Amendment? Is that notorious? Well, I mean, if they did it, it's illegal. And I would say it's a seizure of power. Sure, would you be entitled to use violent force? I would think so. I would argue so, but that comes down to an issue of using force on people and that's very hard to do. So, guys, yeah, that's kind of where we are. This is going to be very interesting going forward. Very, 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 very interesting going forward. Yes. It can go to Kamala, but he has to they can shift it around. It's not just like a flick of the finger, but it can be shifted around. That money can go to Kamala. A lot of it's going to get skimmed. There's going to be a lot of money getting skimmed. A lot of beaks are going to get wetted because that's part of campaign financing is just money laundering by any other name. Let's see here. Wait, this is interesting. Elon is saying the White House aides didn't know till he quit. Oh, wow. That's funny. That is funny. Suffer, White House aides. Suffer. The White House aides didn't know until they found out on Twitter. Zero says, can they say that that's really any better than just lighting money on fire? I don't think so. But, hey, crazy people do crazy shit. All right. Yeah, Gretchen Whitmer's a lockdown queen. Yep. She was. She did great lockdown while she was on vacation. Sean saying, would you be able to do a CGP Grey presidential successor react video? Love to hear your take. I mean, yeah, I'd listen to it, but I mean, if he does it accurately, I think it's fine. I mean, yeah, I'll take a listen to it. Sometimes he gets a little Ponzi. I think it's the same guy I've heard before. Robert's saying, wow, Jill wrote the letter. I don't think that's ever been confirmed. Young's question. Where is Young's question? I don't see her question. Did I pass it? Yes. Am I going to stream the hearing tomorrow at the Secret Service? Hold on. I got to go grab my phone because I don't know what my schedule looks like. So give me 1 second here, chat. Sorry, chat. Trying to get my calendar to load up. But yes. Let me see. Hold on here. Hold on here. What the hell just happened? This is the frustrating thing when you use Google. Everything wants to get so stupid. Crap here. So yes, we might if I'm around. I gotta see. Oh, hold on. I got it here. Hold on. See the month. Ooh, I'm actually what time? I actually might be able to cover this tomorrow. So yes. Oh, hold on. So yes, I actually will probably be covering that tomorrow, chat. Got to take care of it. Are we stream sniping Nick now? There's nothing to stream snipe. I don't think Nick is on. He's probably out getting tattoos and trying to figure out how to come up with his plan to beat the government. You know, these are historic times, guys. These are historic times. I'm glad we're all here to go through it. No Biden's memoirs is I did a thing. Yes. Oh. Scrollfinger says a defense lawyer with dogs named Bonnie and Clyde. Well, no, one of them's named Laney and one of them's named Clyde. But yes. He said he's going to stream today. Well, he said that. How many days has he said that before? Joe Biden out to join the cover. Oh. Casey and Norcos says, I guess this means he could pardon Hunter sooner rather than later. If he pardons Hunter, he will ruin his legacy, I think. If I was Trump, and I still think Trump should have said this, one of my first acts will be to pardon Hunter Biden for the unconstitutional conviction he suffered. Because I still think it was illegal and unconstitutional what happened to him. Now, all the other crap he did, like the money laundering, the FARA stuff, yeah, sure, that's all fair game. But this gun stuff should not be legal, what happened to him. Yes, I eat a whole bag of Doritos after that sass. This moon will be overshadowed by me finding out that is a real place. Yes, that was a real place in Queensland, Australia. Literally. Jem says Joe's going to go live on the farm. What? Biden doesn't give a shit about his legacy. Yes, he does. Exclusive Joe Biden on a kill stream tonight. That would be hilarious. His first interview. Nick is live, by the way. Wow. Fooled me into believing that was going to happen. Two point oh brought up something. Every time Nick goes live, documents get leaked. So something's coming out today, chat, probably, given the rules of what we've experienced so far. Oh. Meme Copium was great last night. Yes, he was. Oh, Meme was great to have on. You can't pardon Nick. Those are state charges. No, but he could Biden could pardon Hunter, and I think Hunter Biden should get pardoned. What's been happening to him is absolute bullshit, and I don't think it's fair. I really don't think it's fair. So, let me see here. So let's see here. Faust says, "Oh, I thought he was you, right?" Nick's live. Sean felted. You know, me and the word felted are gonna be. I'm on very good terms with being felted. So that's like one of my natural states. Like water can have a natural state of being like either liquid, solid, or gas. One of my natural states is commonly being felted. So I'm accepted. I accept that. I accept that reality. Joe Biden's last event. was kill Tony. Nico said, I hope it's body cam. What's a Sunday? I don't think Noel would have held off for this long. RFK is doing an announcement at 5. Yes, he is. Should Nick be pardoned too? That's up to the governor of Minnesota. I mean, yes, if you believe that his church is a conspiracy, sure. Those Scandinavians are crafty. You know, unlike other groups, they haven't been kicked out of 109 countries. They've been able to stay under the radar for thousands of years. Candy, Ojai County should have hired some Indians on Fiverr at the body cams. Okay. What is felted? Okay, Cactus, when you go to the casino and you bet all your money and you lose, you have nothing left. You're staring at the felt. So like on the blackjack table, the poker table, like when you're playing roulette, whatever it is, the tables have felt on top of them. So when you're staring at the felt, it means you got nothing. You got felted. So felted is where that comes from. Nico says, I don't know how FedEx drops shit in Serbia. Noel has his ways. He's a very resourceful man. He's a very resilient man. Hellcat says, could RFK even run as a Democrat now? I think theoretically he could, but we'll see what happens. Nick is not live, but he is alive. Yes. Yes, felted is what Biden does to kids while he's sniffing them. They get felted up. Jeez. Oof, you guys are just brutal. Stephen Cooper says, Twitter, tomorrow's news today. Yeah, let's see what else is popping on Twitter right now. If there's any new statements. Let's see here. Ooh. This is interesting. This is actually very interesting, chat. Joe Biden and Kamala are not endorsing. I'm sorry, Barack Obama and Mike are not endorsing Kamala. To quote the great President Obama, let me be clear. We will be navigating uncharted waters in the days ahead. But I have extraordinary confidence. He likes to whistle with his S's. That the leaders of our party will be able to create a process from which an outstanding nominee emerges. That's not saying I'm backing Kamala. Oh boy. Uh-oh, chat. We're going to have a civil war at the DNC. That's a lisp. No, he does like a whistle with his teeth. I can't do it because I don't have that speech impediment. I did have an S's problem when I was a child, which was funny as hell. My name was Sean, but I had a problem saying my S's. And I go to speech class for it. Yes, we don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn. Oh my God, yes. And you thought the House of the Dragon was a good power struggle story. Oh no, this is going to be... It's funny. The Democrats are going through a July crisis right now. Very apropos to World War I. This is a July crisis. He says, I believe that Joe Biden's vision of a generous, prosperous, united America that provides opportunity for everyone will be on full display at the DNC in August. Oh, I'm sure it's going to be full of violence and insanity. And I expect that every single one of us are prepared to carry that message of hope and progress forward into November and beyond. Let me be clear. For now, Mike and I just want to express our love and gratitude to Joe and Jill for leading us so ably and courageously during these perilous times, and for their commitment to the ideals of freedom and equality that this country was founded on. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message. So, the DNC is going to be Keno as fuck. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Kamala has her own statement. Ashley says, but I want 1776 Part 2, not Civil War Part 2. The Revolution, 1776 was a civil war as well as a Revolutionary War, especially in the South. It was a civil war more than anything. It was a civil war with some British troops thrown in the mix. So, yeah. Mike is going for it. Mike's dropping his panties, letting his dick roll out. Oh. All right, so what is this? Okay, this is from Kyle Rittenhouse. This is kind of funny. A local bar. Rittenhouse for Secret Service 2024. Okay, that is kind of funny. That is kind of funny. And then let's see here if we can find Kamala. Let's see if we can find her. No, she doesn't have no statement from her yet. Although, well, Vice President Kamala Harris. Let's see. Yeah, she doesn't actually have a statement yet. She doesn't have a statement yet. Interesting. Wait, did Jill eat us? Yeah, that's a Obama called Biden to screw up as VP. I'm sure he did. But Biden was Obama's probably able to do some influence from behind the scenes. Lynn Cheney for Democrat nominee, James. That's awesome. I'm sure she's over there knocking on the door like, hey guys, can I help? And they're going to tell her to fuck off right away. Miko Star says, will Trump defeat a woman for a second time to become president? Yes. Yes, 1861 was technically 1776 a sequel. You can have that opinion, but like I said, the first Civil War was the Southern Campaign and the Revolutionary War. Mitt Romney's available. They can hire him. That'd be a great one. Mr. Four Doors, More Whores himself. Yes. Kyle Rittenhouse. How about a Cheney Kinzinger ticket? Oh, that would be great. DeadTube says, I DM'd your statement. You did? All right, here. Hold on. Let me look for it. What's that? I didn't see it yet. I was looking for it. Well, it is on X, but it's not on her own thing. This is weird. So, that's why I'm saying this is. So, this came from Mario Nefal. I've got a little bit of a concern because I just Googled Kamala Harris and everything. I couldn't find it, which makes me a little leery. But
The news reporter just now reporting
okay, so it's looks like oh right, hold on here. This is supposedly what she said. Let me take a look here, chat. We need to go back. Kamala. Where the hell is this thing from her? Yeah, it's not on their official Twitters, which makes me worry this isn't 100% legit, but we have nothing else to go off of. So we're going to read it, chat. So statement for Vice President Kamala heals up Harris. On behalf of the American people, I thank Joe for his decades of service, blah, 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 blah. His remarkable legacy of leadership and of accomplishment is unmatched in modern American history, surpassing the legacy of many presidents who have served 2 terms in office. Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that one. It is a profound honor to serve as vice president. I'm deeply grateful to the president, Dr. Biden, and the entire Biden family. I first came to know Biden through his son, Beau. We were friends from our days working together as attorney generals of our home states. As we worked together, Beau would tell me stories about his dad, the kind of father, the kind of man he was. And the qualities Beau revered in his father, the same qualities I have seen every single day in Joe's leadership as president. His honesty, integrity, his big heart, his commitment to his faith and his family, I'm sure, especially his granddaughter when he showers with her, and his love of our country and the American people. With this selfless and patriotic act, it's not really selfless or patriotic. He should have done this months ago. Biden is doing what he's done throughout his service. Put the American people and our country above everything else. Except for that 10% for the big guy. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. He didn't do that part yet. So I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination. Well, okay. Over the past year, I've traveled across the country talking with Americans about the clear choice in this momentous election, and that is what I will continue to do in the days and weeks ahead. I will do everything in my power to unite the Democrat Party. That's not going to work. And unite our nation to defeat Donald Trump as an extreme Project 2025 agenda. It's amazing they only found this thing out like within the past week. They haven't been screaming about it for months. 107 days until Election Day. Together we will fight, and together we will win. I'm not so sure about that. Just saying there. Mandy, I haven't missed your super chat. I just trying to read through them as we go. So here we go. There's a couple more to read up as we're doing it now. Miss Mandy Reacts is saying, bye Biden. So much for Weekend at Bernie's 3. Yes. DeadTube says, I DM'd you her statement. Well, thank you. And Philip Kogans, is this the same person she called a racist in 2020? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So to defeat Trump, so he's already won? Oh. Yes. Why are some things in quotes? Why aren't all these her words? Yeah, that's a separate matter. Yes. Nobody's assuming someone else is talking when they're reading this. But then again, she's not smart. Her 100 people aren't smart. I just don't. I don't get it either. And then there is a video that Trump's team already came out with. And I assume this has already been put together. Like they've had this one in their back pocket. That's the only thing that makes sense here because otherwise it doesn't work. And here we go. We'll bring this up now. Megyn Kelly, 107,000 people watching. Who gives a shit about her? That'd be nice.
Kamala was in on it. She covered up Joe's obvious mental decline.
Our president is in good shape, in good health, tireless, vibrant, and I have no doubt about the strength of the work that we have done.
But Kamala knew Joe couldn't do the job, so she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Oh, well, there we go. They've been waiting for this. I think they've had that in their pocket for a while. Yes, the best health. Kamala was absolutely not calling any shots. You're right. But you know what? Here's the thing. If they come out and say Jill was calling the shots or the handlers were calling the shots, they're done and they lose. So they're going to have to let Kamala run this over. Yes. A name of some sort says 107,000 virgins versus the 700 Chads watching this stream. I know. The Megyn Kelly virgin or the potentially criminal Chad. Which one are you? Which one are you? Yes, Kamala. Safa, Kamala. Safa. The big donors will assign. They've decided to, and they haven't yet to endorse anyone. Yeah, but like I said, there just turns into a lot of issues if she's out there running around like that. So. Let's see here if I can see if we get any updates. Let me see here. Okay, the statement's being put in multiple places. All right. Well, that's good. I just, like I said, I was a little worried we hadn't seen it anywhere else, but some people sent me some confirmation on Twitter. I'm like, I'll accept that as being real. It just seems weird. So where are we now? Where are we now? Kamala is mine mo. It's not really it's not clickbait. Joe really did drop out of the race. No, I get that part's true. But whether or not Kamala released a statement is the clickbait issue. Because it's not on her pages on Twitter. And that gave me a little concern. Johan Knoxo says both candidates can really claim that they took pops to the face. Yes. Yes, she's taken many a shot to the face, so she understands what Donald's going through. Ugh. Oh. Yes, heels up for Harris. Imagine being the poor guy who's been printing Biden ballots for the past 3 months. Yes. He's sitting there in the back of the office like, boss, should we stop? He's like, no, keep going. It's like, I think she's really going to quit. Maybe we should change up the typing. Sue says, I'm a fat middle-aged woman in Scotland, but I've been around the block. Corn Pops was a bad dude. Kamala took full loads. I'm sure she did. The biggest loads. All kinds of loads. The CNN app showed the statement for Kamala. There we go. Jonathan Dean said the Dems know she will lose and they are throwing in the towel. She will choose Stacey Abrams. She's used to losing. Ha! That would be funny. That would be very, very funny. So where are we at right this second? Where are we at? Let's see here. All right. So, yeah, guys, I think we're all kind of. Yes.
Not the bottom link, but the one above is the Secret Service stuff. If you want to go over that until 5 where the Kennedy thing happens.
Okay. Yeah. We can get some time till we get RFK here. So, second to top one. All right. So there are some updates with the Secret Service stuff for tomorrow, and we are. Oh crap! Where did this go? Yeah, here we go. So this is Susan Crabtree. She is a reporter for Real Clear Politics and for The Hill. So Senator Ron Johnson and his staff have written an initial report, and she's obtained the 13-page summary of it. And some of what's in there, this is very interesting, and I wish I had Joe Dolio on because this would be very important to know. So apparently the Secret Service did not attend the security briefing provided by the local SWAT teams that morning. Why not? So there was a briefing provided by the emergency services people, and they did a security briefing for all the snipers and tactical teams. Local law enforcement were siloed, and they didn't have frequent radio contact with Secret Service. That's not uncommon. There's only going to be like 1 or 2 people that have access to the radios. And when Joe Dolio, Tactical Wisdom, was on, he mentioned that. Like, one guy gets a Secret Service radio and is told, don't lose it or break it. And then as soon as it's over, they take it back. Local law enforcement notified command about crooks prior to the shooting and received confirmation that they were aware. And the neat thing is, those radio calls and all that stuff is likely to be recorded by the police because they're going to protect their ass. Following the shooting, Secret Service was seen on the roof of the AGR with local law enforcement, and photos of the shooter were sent to the ATF for recognition. The Secret Service is not initially going to send snipers to the rally, and then the screenshots of the pages of the report will continue in linked tweets. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see if they show the actual points of things here. So, given the recent reports, Crooks was able to fly a drone and get aerial footage shortly before Trump was able to get there. There were no drones being addressed. That's interesting. That is interesting. Very, very interesting. For over an hour, he was hanging out. And they took pictures of him. They knew everything was there. Oh, Merce Turf, I sent you the full report, Discord DM. Oh. Guys, we'll try to get the report if we can actually get the whole PDF of it. See if I can pull it up. Why can't this be like an actual report to read? Hold on one second. Why am I getting muted here? We'll get back to that in a second. The radio comms will be released. That's probably not going to be happening anytime soon. Anytime soon. Oh, Murph, thank you. Thank you for that, Murph. I appreciate it. Okay, we can share this, guys. This is even better. Here we go. Preliminary findings. Guys, want to say thank you to Murph. That actually is very helpful to have that. So here we go. So we will start with the lack of transparency given, yes. So we covered this part already. That there was a briefing between the SWAT teams and all the tactical units. And Secret Service did not attend, which is a big deal. So it's unclear why Secret Service did not participate in the briefing and the extent to which Butler County SWAT teams coordinated in creating and implementing the security plan. There's recent reporting Crooks able to fly a drone and get aerial footage of the fairgrounds, which I've heard too, but I don't know if it's been confirmed. It's unknown whether any action was taken regarding Crooks' drone and the exact time Crooks' drone was discovered. Because that's a major threat. You can put a bomb on a drone. So the communications, though, they had to be routed through the local police, who would then relay the information either the Secret Service or other law enforcement patrols. It was unclear why it was set up this way and whether the lack of direct comms between local law enforcement and the Secret Service hindered the response time. So at 5:10, nearly 1 hour before Trump was shot, one of two local law enforcement snipers, hereafter AGR Sniper 1, positioned in the AGR building, observed Crooks for the first time. That he did not have a weapon. He seemed suspicious. And at 5:15 p.m., they took at least two pictures of him. One of the pictures shows Crooks on his phone. At 5:28, they took a picture of him with a bicycle and backpack near the AGR building. Now, remember, guys, we heard the story about there was a bike found as they were trying to take Trump away from the rally, and they thought there was a device attached to it. At 5:30, a couple minutes later, they saw Crooks again near the building where he climbed, looking at news feeds on his phone and holding a rangefinder. According to information reported shortly after, he reported that, and everybody was instructed to pay attention to the other snipers. Sniper 1 called it in to report the suspect describing him and that he had a rangefinder. You know, if you really need a rangefinder, dude, this is where you use fucking Google Map. I don't know why you wouldn't have done that already, because that's far less suspicious. At 5:59 p.m., a second law enforcement operator received confirmation from the SWAT commander that they had made and been aware of the messages and requested more information. But yes, 20 minutes before he opened fire, this guy was flagged and nothing changed. Yes. Why did the Secret Service not send agents to the building? And perhaps importantly, why was Trump allowed to go on stage? They could have delayed it till they checked it out. And that's a very easy way to handle this. Falcon Hoof says, yeah, give him tips for the next time, bro. I'm just saying, man, like, if you want to be a little, slightly tactical and a gray man, it doesn't take much. I mean, especially when you're doing these distances and you find out it's 100 yards. You literally don't have to worry about anything as far as making sure you have the right distance on your rifle. There's a lot of things they didn't do. Aaron says, stupid question. What's a rangefinder? It's not a stupid question. So a rangefinder is, hold on here. Well, it's a little thing. The funny part is you will see these all the time. These are various things here, and it's a laser rangefinder. And you take it and you hold it up to your eye and you click it, and it's got a little crosshair on it, and it'll tell you how far something away is. Hunters use them quite a bit. But a very common practice, if you see somebody with their laser rangefinder, is they play golf. And you will stand out where it's not a PGA approved tool. Professionals can't do this, but a lot of amateur golfers out there, like my dad included, who's serious about his golf game, he will stand there, pull out a rangefinder out of its bag, and the golf, when you're playing golf, you have the flag on top of the pole. On the poles on a lot of courses now, they have little reflectors that catch the laser and reflect it back, and they tell you how far away you are. It's a very common thing. Now they do make rangefinders like this right here, a Wilcox Raptor. This attaches to a rifle, and that's like what the Secret Service guys have, but that's obviously almost $10,000. A handheld one is $60. And you could get even cheaper than this if you want one that only works like one time. There's some really garbage ones out there. But that's what a rangefinder is. So the idea, $10,000, that is a laser rangefinder with a ballistic calculator and adjustment mechanism in it. That is top-end military equipment. Like, you can't take that out of the country. It's ITAR restricted. But yeah, I hope that makes sense, Aaron. You can find out all kinds of stuff with these, and they help. Now, if you're shooting really far, within 100 yards, there really isn't anything you have to do other than make sure your sights are lined up and calibrated properly and zeroed in. But 400 yards, 500 yards, you need to start worrying about what's the wind, what's the relative humidity, how hot is it, how cold is it. You go out to like 800, 900, 1,000 yards. Those wind calls, the humidity, the temperature are becoming important again, even more. And it's the temperature all along the way, but in 1,000 yards, you can have temperature changing. You can have the wind changing. And then if you go even further, let's say you're shooting at a mile. Well, now you're shooting at targets and the earth is rotating. So you have like the Coriolis effect. The farther out you go, the more and more the variables become critical. So these things do matter more and more as you do it. Oh yeah, if he was standing there with the laser rangefinder, they should have immediately, like, you are asking to get fucking arrested and detained. They should have detained him immediately and been like, Apix saying, so you need 3D printed. No. If you were smart, you would have just gone on Google Earth and say, I want to pick this building. He's probably going to be in this area. How far away is this general area? 125 yards, 130 yards. I don't need to prepare any more things. I don't need any dope. I don't need to prepare any wind calls. I'm just going to go take a shot. So the whole thing is weird that he would do that anyway. The whole thing makes weird. James Hurley says, what's your thoughts on veto melting down on Twitter that Biden dropped out? Good. Suffer. Trump 2024. That's all I can say. You can buy laser rangefinders look like binoculars, but yeah, here's the thing. If you're at one of these events and you're worried about snipers, and you ever see people like with a rangefinder, I mean, and these are handheld, these fit in the palm of your hand, or let's say they got binoculars, don't be afraid to report that shit to the police. That's some sketchy stuff out there. There's nothing wrong with being, some of this is very sketchy. And it's also legal for the police not to, the police would have detained him. They would have said, sir, you're coming with us. We have questions. And they would have been able to do it. This is a national security event. This is a national security event of the highest situation. The Secret Service and federal law enforcement would have the authority to detain him. Not only that, but the rules of engagement would have been very loose. They are allowed to engage any and all threats they perceive that might be causing harm to the president or damaging national resource material. So it's like if you ever go to an air show and there's like an F-35 standing there and there's that rope line around it. If you came through that rope with a hammer in your hands and about to hit the plane, they could kill you. So, yeah. Be careful with that stuff. Anyway, let's get back to the findings. Following the shooting, Secret Service was seen on the roof with local law enforcement. So at 6:23, full minutes later, 2 law enforcement agents accessed the roof of American Glass Research and saw Crooks deceased. During a subsequent search, law enforcement discovered a suspected remote triggering device. And this is true. He had some sort of remote detonator on him, and we don't know what that was. Now, from sources I've talked to and people I've talked to, the Secret Service had a lack of resources, including they didn't have drones, but they also didn't have signal jamming equipment. Now, that's a very real thing because the Secret Service will carry cell phone jammers. So, like, if you're ever driving down the road, like I had this happen once, and I pulled out my phone to see if it would happen. It was true. I was driving down a highway. Biden was coming the other way. It was a divided highway. Okay, there's a big grass median in the middle, and he was coming the other way. I pulled out my phone, and my phone died. Like, I lost signal. It was jammed. And that's so I can't sit there and go boop, 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 and dial up an IED. Or it, to also protect me from saying, hey, he's coming, get ready. It's signals jamming. Well, there's also, the cell phone's the easy one, but you can use remote detonators that don't operate on the same frequency. You can jam those frequencies as well. And it looks like he had a remote detonator system of some kind. The Secret Service is alleged to not have had their own jamming equipment available. But local law enforcement has these types of things. Like, I think it's specifically the Pennsylvania State Police. They were able to jam, so it sounds like he couldn't set anything off. Which, with those bikes and all those things, like the bike they found the device on, they're claiming it's inert, but I'm betting it was fucking real. Because that's easier to say and not scare everybody. Yeah. There were probably some live bombs out there. Sean is working out what works and what doesn't work. I'm sure he'll figure out sooner or later. Did I just admit to a crime? Maybe. Aaron says they do cell phone jamming all the time in Egypt whenever there are things happening. In most places, in a lot of countries, they'll just shut all the electronics down. No transmitting at all. So, and they talk about at 6:32, 7:45, and 7:46, they took pictures of Crooks, a cell phone, and the remote control device near his body. After that, they were joined by the Allegheny County Bomb Squad and one individual wearing a suit who local law enforcement assumed to be a Secret Service agent, according to the information reported to Senator Johnson's office. According to the individuals on the roof, the bomb squad requested photos be sent to a phone number with a 215 area code, which was stated to be the ATF. The ATF is requesting photos for facial recognition purposes. How would they have his picture? The senator's office called the phone number, confirmed it was in fact the ATF. However, in subsequent attempts to establish further talks with the individual that number, they received the following email from the ATF's acting deputy chief of legislative affairs. And they got stonewalled. And they said, we would ask that you coordinate any of these requests through our office, even though they're part of the Philadelphia Field Division. So that Meeway in turn coordinate through Maine Justice, the Justice Department, and our colleagues at the FBI, which is the lead investigatory agency. Yes, guys, because it's the crime is the attack on the president, the FBI is the lead. Shocker, I know. It's unclear when the Secret Service acts arrived on the roof and how many did. Why ATF would be the agency responsible for conducting facial recognition is weird. And they don't know if the ATF actually did anything. So law enforcement in Butler County learned the Secret Service was not going to send their own snipers to the rally. And local law enforcement would need to go sniper heavy, providing their own teams in order to ensure proper coverage. Local law enforcement learned at least a day before the rally that Secret Service changed course and decided to send 2 teams. If the Secret Service had originally not intended to send snipers to the rally, it is unclear when and why they changed their plan. And guys, now remember, this was when Joe Dolia was on. We learned it wasn't the guys on the barn that we could see that engaged. It was likely another team about 400, 500 yards away from the shooter that engaged and took him out. And I think probably based on where you could see things, they were probably over by the airport, way behind everybody. Magvika says, you didn't have to throw, you didn't have your shit Pringles can to throw? No, I couldn't help. Throw it on the roof and stop them. Yes. Does anybody know what manufactured AR he used? No, I've heard it was a DPMS, but that doesn't mean it doesn't matter. All of them were capable of making the shot. All of them are capable of making the shot. So the findings in the timeline released this document are preliminary and barely scratch the surface of what it reveals. Yes. We'll find out what happens more, but yeah, those are very discouraging things. So here's other information. 8 days before the rally, that the emergency services group were notified of it, and local law enforcement sees the reports. Okay. 5 days before the rally, the police meet with the Secret Service regarding the rally and receive information regarding the timeline. Okay. 3 days before the rally, the Secret Service does an advance of the site and they check it out. And then we talk about the day of. A 46-page slide deck was presented, a PowerPoint, including everything that was going on. At 9:27, he shows up at a Home Depot in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh, and he gets a 5.5 foot tall dual platform ladder. He got an extension ladder. 2 law enforcement snipers by 10:30 are on the second floor of the American Glass building. And this came from the snipers. Here we go. These pictures are from the snipers that were inside a building staring at him. And look at this mongoloid. These are the snipers' pictures, chat. That's where these came from. Holy shit. How did those get on Twitter? I don't know, but those got leaked. Those are from the sniper. They were inside a building staring out at him. He's out there doing his thing, and they're just like, hey, what you doing, bud? Yes, he's got the Hunchback of Notre Dame, yes. Yeah, those were on Twitter within 5 minutes of being shot. But these came from the guy. Check that out. Check that out. That's crazy. That is fucking wild. It is wild. Oh. The 5-foot ladders aren't extension ladders, step ladders, A-frame. Well, I don't know if they got that part right, but if you could see the building, he needs a high enough ladder to get up there. It'd probably have to be an extension ladder. So this pic was taken an hour beforehand. Dumbass brought his phone too. Yeah. Well, at that point, it's too late, you know. Yes, he didn't do good enough OPSEC, but he already failed multiple times. So here's the bicycle. It's unclear what happened to the bicycle and the bags. Oh my God, I bet those were considered, if those had to have been considered devices. So I'm not going to lie, I would have immediately thought they were. 5:32, he's spotted using the rangefinder. And then he sends a message to his sniper group. They have a group chat. He's told to call into command. He calls command. Photos of crooks are sent to the Butler ESU people. They relay it on. Command asks for the direction he's traveling, and they're not sure. And they say he's traveling northeast in the direction of Sheets. And then the sniper goes down to the ground floor to talk to the local cops. So, hold on. We need to bring up the building. So we need to figure some of this out. AGRR. Okay. So we are, if you guys remember, here's what we're talking about. AGR International. He was on this building right here. T-Money was right there. And he just went kapow, kapow, kapow. Pew, 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 pew. Let's figure out something. Let's look for the sheets. Sheets. There's one in Evans Road, Butler, Pennsylvania. Okay, so at some point, they claim he starts like going this way. But it sounds like they spotted him out front right here. And then he disappears. And in the meantime, he came up top and then he shot. So, because this is the Sheets. Sheets is a gas station. Just like Wawa or any other type of place. He brought a ladders, rifles on a bike. I think he made multiple trips. And he probably didn't remember. They don't notice him throughout the day. So remember, from 9 a.m., like he's not noticed until 5 o'clock. So he could have made multiple trips. He could have driven his car up into the parking lot right here. Who knows how he did it? He's got that retard strength, so maybe he just threw it on his shoulder and carried it in. I don't know. We don't know what happened. He could have done all of this and been, until 5 o'clock, just not observed. So, right then around 6:11, he begins shooting. Secret Service report fire, and he's killed. 10 minutes later, the SWAT team get to the roof. And according to them, there was local law enforcement from their county and a Secret Service agent already on the roof. That's sussy. That is very sussy. So they find they pat him down. They find a transmitter device, his phone, and a rangefinder. And then at the bomb squad, they call the phone. They call the phone number, and it turns out it's the ATF. Which that is not. That's not sketchy at all, chat. That's not sketchy at all. Why is there a bro in a suit? Because he's a Fed, but we don't know what kind of Fed. Moose Nut says he couldn't do on his own a transmitter. Probably not the kind that they found. So who knows how he got a transmitter. I mean, I will say, though, just remember, there is a federal agency that has a nasty habit of supplying people with bombs. So there was a suit on the roof. Yep, it looks like it, Aaron. There was a suit on the roof. Why did it take him 12 minutes to get on the roof? Because I think they wanted to deconflict and say, hey, look, if we're going up there with a gun, we're the good guys. Don't shoot me. And remember, they don't have radios to talk to the Secret Service. And those Secret Service snipers have not left yet. They're up on the roof still scanning, ready to kill people. So if you show up in camouflage holding a rifle, I don't want to get killed either. So I'm going to be like, if I can't talk to you, I'll make sure it's me. Like, hey, we're the good guys. Don't kill us. How did the other guys already get up there? I know. That's a big question that has not been answered. Mm-hmm. Ghost says 647, patted down but not arrested. His head's blown off already, Ghost. He started shooting at 611, and by 612, his head was torn in half by a 338 or 300 Winchester Magnum round. So he's not arrested. Local military were not used. You wouldn't use the National Guard in the situation anyway. They're not trained for this type of protection detail. A local police department SWAT team would be far more effective for that. They're going to have the training, the experience. They're going to have a bomb squad and everything ready to go. So no, you'd want those guys instead working on it. Where was all the blood and gore on the roof? Oh, guys, we covered the pictures like that night of the second night. Oh, his head got split open. There was blood everywhere. And then there's pictures of the cops washing it off. Yeah. No, they did not Mirandize him properly. Yeah, the feds power washed the roof. But there's nothing to do at that point, guys. Multiple days afterwards, the blood and guts and brains is just sitting there in the sun cooking. There's no forensic value. They know where he was. Wash it off and let the people have their business again. So, Mike says Newsom and Whitmer saying they're preparing to fall in behind. Well, that doesn't mean shit till the until the convention's over. You're saying here he used a 5-foot ladder on top of an air conditioner to get up. Wow, there you go. Let the birds get it. No, because you own that building. You don't you have the right to say, no, I don't want shit on my roof. Is he free to go? No, Ken, they didn't ask him that, and that's a big problem. That's a big problem. And there's something I still don't understand. It's I will just say for the record, like literally, he got 1.3 million views on "Can you assassinate someone?" Like seriously. I guess that just shows you how stupid people are. I guess that shows you. So, who really knows? Who really knows? So, yeah. I just, I thought to even make it as a joke, you can't shoot at people. I think that's funny enough, but God. RFK's holding his press conference. Yes, we're going to go to that right now. Let's see. Is he live on Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? Is he putting it? Yes. I'll be giving a press conference at 5 p.m. Well, where the hell is it? Let me see if I can find it here. Where's the link? He's not doing it on Twitter, it looks like. Let's see here. Yeah, there's no link to it. I don't see it anywhere in chat. Yes, I'm sure it's ultimately going to be him just screaming at the Democrats to make him their nominee, which, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That means RFK is the second place candidate at the current time now. That is very funny. Oh, it's on his website? Oh, okay. Okay, we'll go there. Let's see what he's got. Can I count on you? No, you cannot. If it's on his website, where the hell? Okay, here we go. No, this isn't live. Where the hell is the live? Where the fuck is this live? Is he on Rumble or where is this shit? Daily Motion. Oh, let's see here. RFK. I don't see the live guys, so I don't know where it's at. So he's on a third-party platform. He's live on Pornhub. RFK's live on the Kill stream. Yes. Yes, at the Kennedy compound, chat. Remember, this is at their palatial compound that the Kennedys built through decades of alcohol smuggling, murder, extortion, other gangster activities. That's how the Kennedys built their empire. That's how the Kennedys built their empire. They're nothing more than Irish hoodlums. What's my favorite ice cream? Come on. I like all ice cream. Do I look like I have a special kind? Yes, RFK's life ghetto gaggers, that'd be great. Oh. Is this the Hannisport? No, Hyannisport. Yeah. Bootlegging and soapbox racing, actually. Yeah, well. Did we get confirmation that Biden's on a ventilator? No, it's a rumor, and there's nothing to confirm that. RFK's on Nick's locals. That would, yeah. Merch Turf. Oh, thank you for saying that. Let's go. Brandon says Biden has to stay on the ballot in Wisconsin and Nevada. No, I don't know how that's going to work. There's got to be ways around that. There's always a way. Myra says for 50 Swedish kroner. Thank you, Myra. Is saying, I must have missed it. What's your prediction? Who will run in Biden's place? Well, it sounds like Kamala right now, but I don't know if the convention's going to stay quiet because I have the feeling it's 1 month away and Kamala's going to shit things up. And all these people that support her are going to give her 1 month to not look like an idiot, and I think she's going to fuck it all up. So somebody else is going to take over. Natasha says they must have run out of raspberry jam. And then Stephen Cooper says, Irish hoodlums, you just mean Irish. Well, to be fair. Somebody says, I am not a Guinness drinker. No, I'm not. Guinness is disgusting. Guinness is awful. And that's the funny thing. Like, you know, it's so funny that you know, Arthur Guinness, the founder of Guinness, was a devout Protestant. And did not support Irish independence. So I think it's so funny that, you know, the Irish are like, yes, but it's like he hated you. He ultimately hated the Irish people. Like, it's, and they drink it all the time. It's like, brah, come on now. It's something to think about. It is something to think about. It's just something to think about. So, yes, and back in the 1700s, they referred to his beer as Black Protestant Porter. So, it's just a very, very funny thing that people like to sit there and glaze him as like, oh my god, oh my god. But, you know, it's just, oh, here we go. No, he's just testing. All right. So you guys can drink your Protestant beer. I won't. The triple berry floaty is good. It's right now live on CPAC. Yes, the Hyannis compound is on Nantucket Sound. And guys, that's on the hold on, we can show that real quick while we're here. We'll show that where this is all at. So let's see if I can find where we're. So if you guys are trying to figure this out, we're trying to get this in Zoom mode where it works real quick. Guys, this is Boston up here real quick. This is Boston. This is the Cape. Here's the Kennedy compound right here. Here's Nantucket. You know, and very, you know, very close by, you know, like here's Providence, Rhode Island. And down here is Long Island. So that's where they're at. I don't know if you guys thought they're somewhere way out here in the ocean. Nope. They're down here. They're down here in the southern bottom of the Cape. So if you guys were not aware, that's where they are. So let's see what RFK is going to say here. And they're at the beautiful, beautiful Kennedy compound. Oh, let's RFK has his own counter snipers. He's on a beach. It should be pretty safe. Siobhan saying, don't care, Sean, still love Guinness. You can. You can. I just don't like Guinness. I drink hoppy IPA hipster shit. No. No. IPAs are disgusting. No. And the way people do it now, they turn into like basically like hop smoothies. No, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Backflip Boy says, I'll give the Proddies this one. Okay. Let me see here. Even South Africans love Guinness. Yeah, I just don't like it. Mr. Gray Brownwin says Common Catholic L. So imagine explaining alcoholics it's wrong to drink one type of retard juice over another type of retard juice. Well, yes. Do you think they announced this to overstep the assassination attempt? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't see you overcoming that momentum. An attempted assassination is so massive. I don't see people just moving along and forgetting about it. Like, this is it. You know, there's no way they forget about it. The public will not forget about this. That's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, chat. I don't see it happening. As much as you might want to or think about it, it's just not happening. So. Oh, the door opened. The door opened, chat. They are neighbors of Dave Portnoy, yes. Otto says, where did Mary Jo Kopechne die? She died nearby. Praying to saints doesn't sit right with me. Well, you doesn't have to. Jasper the Cat says, not sure Kennedy running for president is a good thing. Well, For that Kennedy, it's not a good thing, but for America, maybe or maybe not. And Demon's Wrath goes, there once was a man from Nantucket. You do like Dice Clay. Hickory dickory dock. Oh! Remember the show Wings? Yes, that was out there. Tony Shalhoub was on that show. Yes, the Kennedys had a sister, also known as Rosemary, and she was a party girl, and they had her lobotomized, and the lobotomy didn't work, and it turned her into like a drooling retard, and they shipped her off to a insane asylum. JP the drummer says I'm wrong. I find that hard to believe. I'm a Steel Reserve guy. Oh, I drink Steel Reserve. When I was in college, I used to all the time. Natty Ice is a headache. Oh, we drink Natty Ice all the time. I remember back in 2005, you could buy a case of Natty Light for under $10 with tax. And then I remember when it cost more than it became $11 because it was like $10.50, $10.60 with tax included. That was a scandal when that happened. But for the first like 2.5 years of school, you could buy a case of Natty Light for under $10. It was amazing. RFK's voice really hurts my ears. I agree, Valley Law, but we're gonna have to listen to him talk. Hopefully, not much longer. Remember, a guy lost an election because he went, yeah! Yes, Howard Dean. But that was, the primaries. Yes, we're going to go on to here. We're going to go on to there. Yeah! And he kept doing it the whole night. Why no wind farms? That's a good point. Why are there no wind farms in Nantucket? What are the odds another lunatic tries to take a pot shot at Trump? Very high. I'm actually think it's very high. I think it's a higher probability there'll be a bomb attack of some sort. So let's see here. Why is there a wheel by the door? I don't know. Philip is saying, how do you think the other Kennedy family members feel now that they all bent the knee to slurp some demented peen? I don't know. The Kennedys are all scum. I don't care what happened to them. Yes, I've already seen that one. Did it. But we'll try it again. Let's see here. Yeah, while we're waiting, guys, if you haven't seen this ad that came out already, that's been out there, we'll just run this real quick, just so we have something to watch. Here you go.
Covered up Joe's obvious mental decline.
Our president is in good shape, in good health, tireless, vibrant, and I have no doubt about the strength of the work that we have done.
But Kamala knew Joe couldn't do the job, so she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising. Kamala was in on it. She covered up Joe's obvious mental decline.
Our president is in good shape, in good health, tireless, vibrant, and I have no doubt about the strength of the work that we have done.
But Kamala knew Joe couldn't do the
So there we go, guys. That's the oh shit, here we go. Here we go. We're gonna rewind this real quick. Here we go.
Stephanie, you ready? Hi. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I want to begin by commending President Biden for a career in public service, for a long, long career and representing and serving our country, and for his handling of the many difficulties and challenges, personal challenges and tragedies that he suffered during his life with so much admirable conduct and the empathy that he derived from those experiences, that he was always proficient at showing to the rest of us. I want to add that a year ago, a little over a year ago, when I entered this race, I predicted that President Biden suffered from a degenerative condition that was not going to improve and that it would make it impossible for him to govern effectively. The reaction of the DNC to that obvious condition was to hide it from the American public and to use their power over the Democratic Party nomination process to make sure that nobody could compete with President Biden in a way that would expose his deficiencies. And as a result, we are where we are today, which is in a period of crisis. And we have two crises, and they both derive from the same condition. And that condition is the emergence of the domination of corporate power over American democracy that accelerated beginning in 2010 with the Citizens United case that unleashed a tsunami of corporate money into the American political process. And both parties are now captured by that corporate money. And they've lost any kind of authentic connection to the American people or to the populist goals of the Republic and of democracy. On the Republican side, President Biden promised the last time around that he was going to drain the swamp. But instead, he came in and he appointed a pharmaceutical lobbyist and CEO to run HHS, Verizon lobbyist to run the FCC, a Goldman Sachs CEO to run the Treasury Department, an oil lobbyist to run the Interior Department, a coal lobbyist to run the Environmental Protection Agency, and so on.
The skid suit's giving away, chat.
Today, President Trump has announced that in his new administration, should he win this election, that Jamie Dimon will be his choice as Commerce Secretary, and that Larry Fink, the director of BlackRock, will run the Treasury Department. This is the swamp. These are swamp creatures. And his pick as vice president is a salute to the CIA and to the intelligence community and to the military industrial complex. Their gravy train is going to continue. And President Trump has a connection to the American people, a populist connection, but in many ways, it's the same fraudulent connection that we saw with the DNC over the past year, concealing the real purpose of their objectives, which was to give us a president that represents corporate interests rather than the interests of the American public. we've seen two presidents who aren't really addressing any of the issues that are critical to our country. We have, if you look at President Biden and President Trump, you can look at them and say these are very different people. Their dispositions are different. Their personalities are different. Their expressed ideologies are very, very different. Their approach to politics could not be more distinct. But if you actually look at the policies over which they differ, over the landscapes in which they're staging this election, it's a very narrow Overton window of guns, of culture war issues, of abortion, of trans rights, etc. And the big existential issues that are actually facing our country are never addressed. The biggest of these, perhaps, is the national debt. This is now $34 trillion. The service on that debt alone is now greater than our military budget. Within 5 years, 50 cents out of every dollar that we collect in taxes will go to servicing that debt. Within 10 years, 100%. This is not sustainable. President Biden, President Trump offer no solutions. President Biden on his webpage has no policy issues addressing this or any other policy. He has a picture of himself and saying that we're going to finish the job, but he doesn't tell what job he's going to finish. If it's the job of running up the deficit till it's completely unsustainable, that's something that the American people should know about. President Biden can't talk about it, and President Trump can't talk about it because they're the ones chiefly responsible for running up that debt. President Trump came into office saying he was going to run the presidency as a business. He was going to balance the federal budget. And instead, he ran up an $8 trillion debt, more than all the presidents combined since George Washington. And President Biden is now on track to beat that number. So neither of them are even going to talk about this most existential issue. Another existential issue is our addiction to foreign wars. Both men have said that they're against war, and both men are feeding the war machine. The Ukraine war is a war that should have never been fought. It should have been settled. President Putin has offered twice to settle that war on terms that were enormously beneficial to the Ukrainian people and to the American people and to our security in Europe. And yet, President Putin initialed an agreement. President Zelensky initialed that same agreement in April of 2022. And President Biden sent Boris Johnson over to force Zelensky to tear up that agreement. And since then, it's probable that over 500,000 Ukrainian kids have died unnecessarily in a war that is enriching BlackRock because they own all of the
No lies detected.
Contractors that are supplying that.
No lies detected,
war.
Chad.
And BlackRock not only has the contract to destroy Ukraine, but it also now has the contract which President Biden gave them to rebuild Ukraine. Neither of these presidents is going to deal with the chronic disease epidemic. When my uncle was president, 6% of Americans had chronic disease. Today, 60% do. Diabetes alone, when I was a kid, the typical pediatrician would see one case of diabetes in his career, or a 40 or 50-year career. Today, 1 out of every 3 children who walk through his office door is diabetic or pre-diabetic. And nobody's talking about why this is happening. The cost of dealing with mitochondrial disorders in our children, dysfunction, which is diabetes, is now greater than our military budget. The biggest cost to our nation is the cost of treating chronic disease, $4.3 trillion annually. It's 5 times the price of our military budget. And nobody's talking about why did autism go from 1 in 10,000 in my generation and 70-year-old men today, right now, and yet my children's generation is 1 in every 34 kids, 1 in every 22 boys.
It's a lot of us.
Shouldn't we be looking into this?
Yes,
Shouldn't we
we
be
should.
doing the science to figure out what's causing it? We know that it's an environmental exposure or an accumulation of environmental exposures. Genes don't cause epidemics. There has to be an environmental toxin. And all the corrupt merger of state and corporate power has been overseen by both political parties. It's something neither of them, the capture of our agencies by the industries that they're supposed to regulate. They've been turned, our regulatory agencies have been turned into sock puppets of the industries they're supposed to protect us against. And all of these are issues that are critical to the American people. And finally, the most existential issue of all, the toxic division that is destroying our country. And President Biden's, the attempted assassination of President Trump this week is a symptom of that toxicity. We're now more polarized in this country than at any time since the American Civil War. And nobody can see an ending to this. If President Biden gets elected, it's going to become more toxic. If President Trump gets elected, it's going to become more polarized. And neither of these men, both of them say, both of them recognize this is existential. But both of them, neither of them can do anything about it. Why? Because they feed on it. They feed it. They fuel it. And they are the products of that division. So we need a leader who can stop feeding into the vitriol, stop feeding into the anger, stop feeding into the marginalization, the polarization, and who can find those values
Like
that
me.
bring Americans together, rather than focusing on these toxic issues that are intended to keep us all apart. And it's the BlackRock, the State Street, the JP Morgan who are profiting from that
BlackRock.
division. The very people that President Trump has promised to appoint to run our government who are profiting on it, because it's like the jangling of keys. They're saying, look over here, look at abortion, look at freedom of choice, look at trans rights, look at gun rights. And while we're all staring at each other's throats on those issues, on the jangly keys, they're robbing the bank over here. They're shifting the wealth upward to this new oligarchy of billionaires. And both President Trump and President Biden engineered the lockdowns in 500 days. They created 500 new billionaires, and they shifted $4.3 trillion northward from the American middle class to this new aristocracy that we have. And it's destroying our country. We need a change. If people want more of the same, they can vote Democrat and they can vote Republican. The only way we're going to get a change in this country is if people come together behind the one candidate who is independent, who has vowed to have a unity government to bring Republicans and Democrats and others all together in a way that finds common ground in our country. A candidate who's the only candidate who's pro-choice, who's pro-environment, who's pro-civil rights, and who beats Donald Trump by 14%. There is no other candidate who can beat Donald Trump. Look at all the polls that have been done over the last year. I beat Donald Trump and nobody else
It's
can.
me.
Thank you very much.
The bottom half of your tweet talked about the nomination process in Chicago next month. Can you talk about that moving forward, on your kind of thoughts on being a neutral policy on who the Democrats finally nominate?
Well, I care about our country more than I do about my election or anything else. And I think we need political parties that are actually attached to the American people, that are serving the interests of our republic. And if the Democrats do what I suspect they're going to do, which is to anoint Kamala Harris, a vice president who is monumentally unpopular within her own party, but they're doing it because it's the easiest way to hold on to the money, and she's the. And I think if they don't open up the process, that it really is going to discredit this political party.
Oh, they got him, chat. Kamala's taking him out.
I can take the back of that
Kamala cut the feed.
To create the illusion of a democracy, but in fact, it's a cabal at his choosing.
The illusion of democracy as it cuts in and out.
Russia has elections. Vladimir Putin wins with 88% of the vote because he controls who can be his opponents. And he controls the media. And the same is true now of our political parties in this country.
Would you open up to the possibility of taking part if there was an open convention? You called for that. Is that something you would consider taking part?
I would certainly listen to the party elders if they came to me. I would
Party
discuss
elders.
something with them. I'm the only presidential candidate who can beat Donald Trump. And if I were them, I would do that. And I would certainly listen to their proposals.
Will you actively seek out that nomination? You're saying if they come to you, but
No, I am very content running where I am. And I believe I can win this election. I believe at this point it's a two-man race or two-person race. Let me put it that way. And, and that I'm in the best position to win.
And if the polling then shows that you're not in the best position, whoever the Democrats go with, whether it's Vice President Harris or someone else, will you, because what you cite often are your internal polls. So if your internal polls show that you will actually lose, would you step down and step aside?
Well, I would. That's an interesting proposal, and I would consider taking that proposal if the other candidates did the same.
You mentioned Kamala Harris is who you said that the Democratic Party appeared poised to put into that position. You were critical there, obviously, of President Biden's policy. What, if anything, is different? How do you compare yourself to Kamala Harris if she does become the Democratic nominee for president?
Well, I think, Kamala Harris is the party of war. She's a war hawk. The Democratic Party was always the peace party. Kamala Harris is a war hawk on Ukraine. She's a war hawk on China. I think that we should be figuring out ways to coexist with the rest of the world as best we can. Of course, we need to protect our national security. I think she's not going to do anything about the national deficit. I've never heard her speak about the chronic disease epidemic, I think she's a product of the corporate control of our democracy. And she's one of the authors of, in terms of civil rights, she has one of the worst civil rights record of any public official. She's the author of one of the primary authors of the school to prison pipeline. She kept 5,000 people, despite a Supreme Court order that she released 5,000 prisoners of nonviolent drug crimes who were illegally in California jails. She kept them in there saying that we needed them for firefighting and for other public work services. And that's just a modern version of indentured servitude, a modern version of slavery. She was one of the two leading public officials in California, which now has the worst education system, 49th in education outcomes in the country. 50% of the homeless people in our country are in California, and she was behind those policies. I don't think she has a good, I don't think, in terms of the traditional democratic principles, I don't think she has a credible record.
In all the turmoil the past week, you ever had it gone through your mind you regret leaving the Democratic Party? Because with this turmoil, that might have left you as a front runner as you speak today.
Well, I wouldn't be the front runner because by the time I left the Democratic Party, it was really clear that, and this is the only reason I left, that the rules have been rigged to prevent me from winning. So I would be in the same position as Dean Phillips is today or Marianne Williamson. I wouldn't, which is, sidelined. And the only way that I avoided getting sidelined was to leave the party, which neither of them were able to do.
I go to a lot of your events, and I've heard your stump speech, and a lot of today was your stump speech, but you're still focusing a lot on President Biden. He is out of the race. In fact, at one point you even said, highly critical of President Biden, said if President Biden, were to win, if Donald Trump were to win, but he's announced for hours now that he's out. Were you just confused, or have you moved on from it? It stood out.
I was making a point about there being very, very little difference between the two parties, and the current iteration of President Biden's policies is Kamala Harris, who has never voiced any differentiation, any distinction between herself and President Biden. I'm not going to, made some criticisms of her own policies, but I don't know what her national policy. There literally is no policy on their website, so we don't know what she stands for. My assumption is, according to her, that she stands for all the things that President Biden stood for.
Bob,
There's
does
no
today's
difference.
news affect your campaign moving forward?
Well, I think everything affects my campaign. I can't tell you how, and I try not to make predictions because I try not to do spin. And I think, as any of you can see, that we're living in a very, very dynamic situation now. It's unprecedented in American history. In fact, the closest thing to this, when I look back on American history, is the 1968 primaries where my father participated and was killed. And ironically, the convention, the Democratic convention this year is being held once again in Chicago. And in 1968, the Democratic Party tried to fix that convention with Mayor Daley basically anointing Hubert Humphrey, who was the DNC's choice. And there was chaos that erupted, and it destroyed the Democratic Party for a decade. So I think we have a lot to learn from that history. As I think Mark Twain said, that history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, and it's really rhyming right now.
Mr. Skinner, you said you are the candidate to beat Donald Trump. You mentioned that multiple times. Yet, I think for the debate in June, you failed to qualify for that. What is it that you see that makes you confident that you can not only beat Donald Trump, but also whoever the candidate will be in the Democratic Party?
I would point out to you that I qualified for the debate better than any other candidate. Clearly, we all see today that President Biden is not going to be on any ballot. I was on the ballot, and I have enough signatures to be on the ballot today in 29 states. I exceeded the polling thresholds that CNN established. I had 6 polls where I was from their named polling groups.
This is all just a bunch of cope. Copenhagen
excluded them. So I believe that I will continue to qualify for the next debate, and hopefully they'll put me on the stage this time.
Let's go.
If you don't make the debate the next time, will you take that as a sign?
No, I'm not going to. That would be the opposite of a sign. That would be.
they're talking.
Colluding.
Oh my God, they're talking about wrapping them up in the background. They're like, we're done. They just want to stop the guys running the cameras. This is awesome.
With the parties to keep me off the stage, which they did the last time. So I'm not going to cave into that just because, your networks are saying, are fencing me out, which they are. You will not see me on ABC, CBS, NBC, or CNN doing
yes, Whispering wants to quit.
A live interview. They won't let me on. They're colluding with the Democratic Party to keep me out of the limelight. If you remember when Ross Perot ran, he was on CNN every night. That's why he got so popular. I have greater popularity than Ross Perot without ever getting on the network. Only one time have I been allowed on the network in a live interview, and that's with Aaron Burnett, and they never did it again. And we asked them, Stephanie Spears right here, my press secretary, who's on the phone every day with the bookers from every one of those, and they just say, no, we're not going to let him on. So there's a monolithic wall. The television networks that are owned by the public, those airwaves, are licensed to use them, but those airwaves are owned by the American public. We used to have an equal time rule. We used to have a fairness doctrine that would make those networks put me on. But today we don't. Those laws have been gutted, and they're able to just to make common cause with the Democratic Party to make sure the American public does
Oh my
not
God,
see
stick a fork in this man.
Thanks, Bob.
I could ask one final question.
Oh, they just cut him off.
Last week, I've noticed you have Secret Service protection now. On a personal level, for you and your family, your thoughts on that, having that now as you move forward?
I'm very grateful for it. Listen, it's intrusive for me, so it's like, be careful what you pray for. But I'm very grateful for it because, when my father was shot, there were 6 bystanders shot that night, including Paul Schrade, who took a bullet to his head, one of my father's best friends. And my uncle, President Kennedy, was shot. Governor Connolly was also shot. When Ronald Reagan was shot, Mr. Brady was also shot. So, in almost all of these attempts at assassination, and when President Trump was shot last week, there was also a bystander who we all pray for who was killed, and 2 others grievously wounded. Oh, it's very important to me to have the Secret Service here, not so much for my own protection, but to protect people, to dissuade people who might want to attack me and who might hurt or even kill a bystander.
Any final comment, Mr. Kennedy?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you all very much for coming out here on a Sunday.
Well, that was a barn burner. Everybody's like, oh my God, he's done. Thank God. There's like, thank God it's over. You can hear them in the background. They're like, I think we're going to cut him off. I think we're only going to cut him off. That was brutal to listen to. Show the what? Oh, okay. Well, hold on here. Let's this is so Trump put out another tweet or another truth on Truth Social. If I can get it to, why is it not loading? Oh, for the love of God. Also, in case you guys were wondering, RFK back about 30 years ago, he suffered a thing called spasmodic dysphonia. Basically, the muscles that control his voice go into periods of spasm, and yeah, there's no way to fix it. They don't really know how to fix it. He got some surgery done when they inserted some metallic reinforcement into his vocal cords, and it's supposed to help, but it's not clear that it's working fully. It's a lot better than it used to be, but it requires a lot of oversight and research to work on it. So it's something he's been battling for quite a while. And Trump just put this out in the meantime, and I think we're gonna start here and just kind of go from here with this. And he's like, my debate with crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the U.S., was slated to be broadcast on fake news ABC, the home of George Slopadopoulos, sometime in September. Now that Joe has not surprisingly quit the race, I think the debate with whomever the radical left choose should be held on Fox News rather than the very biased ABC. Thank you, DJT. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go, but yeah, hold on here. Okay, hold on here. Let me see, guys. Apparently he's got another one here. Oh, yes, here we go. Yes, he says, does anybody really believe that Crooked Joe had COVID? No. He wanted to get out ever since the June 27th, the night of the debate, where he was completely obliterated. That was the big moment in Biden's demise. That was the point in time where Joe was revealed for what he is, an incompetent man who should never have been president. Joe Biden's not fit to serve. He's destroying our country. This is still not, those are good, but not as fire as that first one he did. Those are not as fire as the first ones he did. I could say that much. Oh, he's going full kayfabe right now. Full heel mode. So, yes. I wish Trump had hosted on Rumble. That'd be a shit show. Oh, it'd be great. It'd be great. That would be hilarious. Joe Biden's Adderall says, thanks for the fun coverage. You're welcome. Adam Rice says he didn't talk reparations like he does normally. Yeah. And Ag says, have you ever want to know what it would be like if Howard Hamlin climbed out of his tomb and ran for president? And that's referring to RFK's speech. Holy cow, that was just awful. That was painful to listen to. So, yeah, dark Trump. That was just awful. That whole thing was awful. So, it is just very revealing what's happening right now. Let's see here. Let's try to see what you guys sent me. And Ben Jones brings up a point. This will be interesting. This is. I can't wait. Hold on. I don't know if this is true, but this is good news if it is. Share screen. This is the first presidential election since 1976 to not have a Biden, Bush, or Clinton on the ticket. Well, yeah, because in 80 you'd had Bush, 84 you had Bush, 88 you had Bush, 92 you had Clinton, 96 you had Clinton, 2000 you had Bush, 2004 you had Bush, 2008 you had. Well, wait, that wouldn't work because you had. Well, yeah, you had Obama, Biden. 2012 you had Obama, Biden. 2016 you had Clinton. 2020 you had Biden. Yeah, there we go. First time since 1976. So yeah, well, actually, he should say the first time since the 1980 election and not have a Biden, Bush, or Clinton on the ticket. So that's actually good news. I mean, getting rid of these guys, getting rid of the Cheneys. The Cheneys are out. It's a good start. It's a good fucking start. Get rid of all the scum. Now, Hubbleson saying, I'm not voting for anybody because not voting means nothing unless you live in a swing state. Well, voting means a lot for your local politics, so you should vote there at the very least. So that's how I would phrase it. Sue says, are we sure Hillary doesn't jump in? No, I don't know. Remember, they all say they're getting together right now for the convention. They're all going to work together. That's a month away. That's a month of dumpster fires in the meantime. So they could always change their mind and turn on her if she screws up too bad, which I get the feeling she will. So very quickly, there's going to be a challenge and a battle at the DNC. I guarantee it. So vote Clyde for the God Emperor of Ohio. Yes. There will be a floor fight, Chicago. I wholly think so. I wholly think so. All right, guys. Well, we've been on for about almost 3 hours and 45 minutes. I think things are probably going to chill out for right now. I plan on going live a little later tonight anyway to cover some of the Karen Reed stuff and get ready for the, they call it the Black Swan murder, but I think it'd be funnier to call her the ballerina butcher. The butchering ballerina because she murdered her husband. And we were going to cover that a little bit later. So I need to take care of that. I need to get some things lined up that I was supposed to take care of today done, but we've been here having fun since 2. The ballerina has ties to Trump. Thank you for the law blog. You're welcome. Soon means midnight. No, soon means probably like around 8 or so. And we'll go from there. Pretty sure they're both crazy. Yeah, I bet they are. So, all right, guys. Dolly, wait, hold on. What, Dolly? What did you say? I'm serious. Oh, okay. And guys, so remember, until next time, as I said, my name's Sean, also potentially criminal. I'm an attorney here in Ohio, do a lot of defense stuff. We do shows throughout the week. We do a weekly show every Thursday at 9:30, but during the week, we cover different cases, different events that are breaking, and stuff like this. And I'm sure there's going to be more aftermath of this to cover, but wanted to be on top of this breaking news. So I will say, until next time, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Good night, you guys. We'll see you probably around 8:30 or so tonight. Take care.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy that Kaden yelled at? Why, yes it was.